Yo, 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 yo. We're back at it once again. Y'all thought we was done? We're not done. We're far from done, guys. Y'all already know. Back in another beautiful, glorious Thursday, guys.
Nice.
And I appreciate all you guys here joining this fruitful discussion with us. Opine, comment, do whatever you need to do in the back chat, guys. I will try to acknowledge you to the best of my ability. What's up, panelists? Let me give y'all a
Man.
round of applause. Appreciate all y'all for coming on the joint. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. As you can see, guys, we have a new guest on here. My man Jack Quill. What's happening, bro? Tell us a little bit about
Man.
yourself, man, and what
Okay.
brought you to the podcast.
Well, I'm originally from Chicago, man, but I actually live in Dallas. Brought me to the pod. I was just looking at the last episode. I saw one previously to that before, but I was just like, man, it's a lot of energy going on with these pods. Compared to my part, I was like, man, I've never been on a debate, so this is the first time I ever did something like online. So yeah, but anyway, I
Yeah.
got a podcast called the Nice Guys Podcast. I'm an artist as well
Mm,
too. So, and
yeah.
I mutually know one of the panelists on here, Dez right there. So yeah,
Desi DC.
yeah,
Well, hey, we are honored to have you, man, and everybody who in the chat. Make sure y'all check out his socials. Definitely, we're gonna plug that in again by the before the show's out. As we always do. Desi
yeah.
DC, go ahead and introduce yourself, and give
What's up,
a little
y'all?
introduction.
How y'all doing? Y'all already know it's your girl. Desi DC, Instagram, Facebook, Desiree AC, YouTube, flicking on my big. I can find me there.
All right, girl, go on ahead now. Go on ahead now. We got that young blood, JP in the house. Talk to us, JP. Oh, you muted, brother. Come on now.
Damn, I blow my boy. FWM podcast, FWM underscore
What up,
podcast,
man? What up,
Instagram
Lee?
and TikTok. Follow me, fuck with me.
Appreciate that, my boy. My boy. JP is always he's one of those day ones. You know what I'm saying? Much respect, much respect. Anyways, guys, I didn't do too much promo for this particular live.
Okay.
So I do appreciate you guys in the chat for joining and keeping those notifications on and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't promote it promote it as much as I should have. It was a busy day. Holidays gets really rambunctious. Got two teenagers, stand just work and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me for lack of due diligence, but nonetheless, it shall be a great show. I'm sure of that. But if any of for those of you who have saw the thumbnail, read the title, yes, we're talking about it. We're gonna delve into the depths of uncharted territory right now, because what I see happening is I see a lot going on, but I also see not very many people talking about it. Whether it be because of particular guidelines or whatever, the platforms, or maybe it's just cowardice or just kowtowing or surrendering to the greater agenda, or whatever the reason is. I'm not seeing much talk on this topic that we're going to delve into tonight, and I hope that this is going to be a very robust, insightful conversation. And look, as I've always said, guys, we may disagree, but I will fight and die for your right to speak your truth. Well, not your truth, the truth, okay? Because we'll decipher and discern between what the truth is. Because over here, there's only one truth, brother. You know how we rock. Anyway, I got this I got this montage I want to play, and it is before I play it, I definitely want to give credits where it's due to my man Chad O. Jackson. Please check out his content, y'all. He has a channel. It's called Cutting Through the Culture. It is dope, dope, dope on another level. My man Teach him Chuck. You got Blanche. great, intelligent, brilliant men on there. Like these guys are standing for righteousness, and they're standing up for the truth. So definitely, I would encourage you to check out his channel. Chad, I just want to give you shout out before I use your montage. So he put this together, guys. I think it encompasses exactly what tonight's overarching theme is about. So just sit back. I think it's about, I don't know, probably 3-4 minutes long, but you know what I'm saying, that's not too long. I mean, I'm sure some of y'all attention can handle that.
Kevin
You
Gates.
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and start this off. I'm gonna play it a little bit, guys. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Love,
Can y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
but
Hold
she
up.
want to be with women now.
Yeah, she like
Can y'all hear that?
Kevin Gates. Yeah, I can hear it.
Everyone can hear it. JP, Dez, y'all can hear that? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Bet. Oh snap! I'm sorry. Real quick before I play this, I gotta do some house maintenance. I'm sorry. Got my boy Lee in the building. What it is, Lee? What it ain't, Lee?
Hi, Lee. Lee act like
Uh-oh.
he can't speak today. Lee act like he can't speak today. Okay.
Look. Let's put the whole, beef you got with Lee to the side.
I love Lee. I don't got no beef.
Oh, she love Lee now. You heard that, Lee? She love you, bro. Tomorrow she gonna hate your ass. Anyway, Donna, what's happening? Donna's in the house. I appreciate you. Got Lee again. Marlene, what's happening, Marlene? I know who this is. Marlene again. Hey Lee, how you doing? We got Andre Rose in the house, my boy. Listen, Andre, if you want, damn man, I don't know. If you want, I don't know. I might drop the link in the chat if you want to jump on, because I know I told you I wanted you to come on, but if this is outside of your expertise, or if this is something you don't really want to opine on, just you don't have to jump on. But if you want to, just let me know, man. I'll be more than willing to drop the link in the chat, man. The more the merrier is how I see it. Daz, what's up with your Obama internet? You buffering?
You said Obama.
Yeah, she playing games. Daz,
Gotta step your DSL up.
Get rid of the Obama phone and get a real phone.
okay. He said he had work. Okay, no doubt. All right, so I don't know what's going on with your camera, Daz, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and let's sit back and
My computer glitching a little bit, so if it cut off again, I'm gonna just do it from my phone.
Oh, okay, damn.
So
I got you. All right, we guys, everyone on the chat, on the panel, mute up and then unmute once the video's done.
Yeah, she I know wrong with going both ways if that's where you want to go.
live your lifestyle.
As a woman that considers herself pre-sexually fluid, meaning that I feel like I can be attracted to men and women, I would say I think there's something deeper going on with the substantial rise with Black women identifying more as bisexual. And I think it's actually can be a healthy thing. It's historical. Even in ancient times, women helped cultivate each other's femininity and energy. We helped heal each other. And we did have sexual chemistry and play.
The reason why I went for this is because he sags his ass off. Like every time we be kicking it with the homies, this would just be sagging. His ass would be so juicy. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, he was like, what made you want to holler at me? Like out of all the homies, like, come on, bro. Like I know I don't get that vibe and type. And I'm just like, bro, you don't get that vibe, but like you always got your ass out. Like that's the vibe. Like what y'all don't understand is that attracts gay niggas or bisexual niggas. Like, so you doing that turns us on. So it don't matter if you get down or not. And honestly, that's why I said sagging is the biggest hint, because if you're not sagging, I've noticed there be some niggas with some fat ass booties, but I wouldn't even know because they won't be sagging. And because they not sagging, I'm not lusting for them.
You're saying I'm bisexual. I like females and males.
So
take us through that.
Don't get me wrong, I ain't out here sucking no and getting in the ass and no, but you feel what I'm saying? I'll make a nigga my like, you want to be my I'll my quick. Like I don't get no I got a certain type. I like transgender shit like that. I like feminine, cause I'm masculine, so I'm a motherfucking king. I come from king's royalty. I like power.
People keep forgetting I'm bisexual.
If you like women, why y'all didn't ever just think about like doing things together? Like
We tried that once.
Oh, okay.
And I felt bad about it because the woman that we tried that with was really in love with me, and she didn't want to sleep with him, but she did it because of me. And there was a day, there was an experience that happened, and I saw how uncomfortable she was, and she just kept looking at me. She's sitting there him, but she's sitting there staring at me saying, I love you. I love you.
The thing with me, I'm non-monogamous. So I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
It's not the number of kids, though. I guess people question the different baby mothers. That's what it is.
Why do people question that? I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of like, you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life. And really, that's just a classified property when you think about it.
Do you agree, like Nick Cannon and his spreading of his seed?
100%. I agree with him 1,000%.
Oh, no, but what about the kids though?
What about them?
Because every single time you're at every single recital.
No, that's a white man's thing. Who gives a fuck about a recital?
No.
Gay men do identify with the affirming awesomeness of Black women, the Dream Girls effect, the Beyonce effect, which you quoted. And also, too, we have to acknowledge historical context here, that many of the mannerisms that you spoke of in your article actually come from gay culture, like Paris is Burning, like Boys in the Band. These are not new mannerisms that have come in the last 10 years because of African-American female culture. It's been around.
Queer studies and critical race studies can be considered practices that have a shared political investment in terms of denaturalizing heterosexuality, right? To say that heterosexuality is not normal, it's not natural, it's not universal. And at the same time, denaturalizing whiteness, right? That it holds that whiteness is not natural or normal or universal, but a historical construct that has societal implications and impacts bodies.
Black slaves would be looked at as property. The ways in which these will load up both heterosexuality and whiteness onto the same body is something that we need to think about.
I do think that queer studies and critical race studies really work together.
Heterosexism is like whiteness. It's dominant, therefore it's rendered invisible. So we don't even pay attention to the codes that are enculturated in us, that are deeply inscribed in our subconscious, that we take for granted as the myth of the given. That's what we start with. How then do we not speak? The reason Black folk don't want to deal with homosexuality, because we can barely deal with heterosexuality, because America has shamed us. Gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual. If that's gay, dig it. James Baldwin spoke for Black people as a Black gay man. Without Bayard Rustin, straight Black people would never enjoy the rights they enjoy now.
Bayard quoted, "Today, Blacks are no longer the litmus or the barometer of social change. The new niggers are gays. It is in this sense that gay people are the new barometer for social change. The question of social change should be formed with the most vulnerable group in mind, gay people."
In the Bible, it clearly states that homosexuality is wrong. And I feel that you are a powerful woman and you have done so much. And if you are going to represent yourself as a Christian, and then you're going to go on the show and say that you also support that, it's double standarding.
Well, I have a different view of Christian than you do. Okay? And the God I serve doesn't care whether you're gay. And so that's just a difference of belief. And I don't expect to change your belief today, because I have, just before I came down here, I'm late today because I was in the makeup room arguing with somebody who was telling me how all gay people are going to hell, and now I'm going to hell with all the other gay people for doing the show. I take full responsibility for my going to hell. I take full responsibility, and I feel that everybody who's concerned about me now going to hell, I think that you all should take that energy and try to create a little heaven here on earth for everybody. And I take full responsibility for it.
Right,
And if gay
she-
Ellen says
yes.
she's gay, I believe God created her gay. I believe God did that.
If we provided them a place to come out, they ain't got to act like they straight. They can be gay and great by themselves. God loves them too. You already been blessed by them. You didn't even know they were gay. What you gonna get, retroactively homophobic? Had I known that you were gay, I wouldn't have been blessed by your message. Had I known you were gay, I wouldn't have been stood up by your sermon. Had I known you were gay, the song you sung would not have blessed me. Too late. God done already blessed you.
Let me be clear about one thing right off the bat. I am a gay Black Christian who deeply believes that none of those things are in conflict or in question.
Bro, you on mute, man.
Sorry. My bad. No, I was saying that was one hell of a montage, and yeah, I know there was a lot to digest, and yeah, I guess we're just gonna jump straight into it. JP, I know you can see the question scrolling across the bottom there. Is Black culture and gay culture the same?
And you know what? I'm a let our guest go first, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's make sure we get the house rules, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you said in the house rules. Okay.
I heard bro content, man. I'm definitely
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
bro.
Jack Wells on you, my boy.
So I'm reading this book called The Delectable Negro. It's actually written by a gay author, Black author, and I think it's a very interesting concept to kind of talk about that lifestyle. Because I mean, if you look at like history or whatnot, you know about like the Greek philosophers and that lifestyle or whatever the situation is. Because I don't knock nobody for what they do, but you do see that like in our communities, it was more so like. It was enforced on us because we had no actual alienable rights. So like you see people that are now kind of like dealing with those lingering traumas from people being over sexualized, like African slaves, stuff like that as well. To see it like really being well embedded within our communities, I'm not too surprised by it just because of certain things. If you were able to emasculate a man, of course, and he can't actually direct and lead the family structure. So of course, to see that being so much more prevalent within our communities, even like when you look at the civil rights movement, the guy that actually was leading Martin Luther King's peaceful non-violent protests, he was actually a homosexual male. So it's like it was certain things that you kind of see that's being embedded like slowly but surely within different pieces of our dynamic within our culture. And if you have people that don't know themselves, of course they're going to start to align with things that are not going to make much sense. Like you're not structured with, family structure, language, your own religion, things of that nature as well. You're going to see a lot more of this being surfaced. And I think that's what's pretty much going on nowadays with the influx of homosexuality within our community. So yeah.
Interesting take, my homie. Desi DC, go ahead. What's your thoughts? Is black culture and gay culture the same? You're muted, by the way, too.
So that's a little tough. And I say that because we got to first understand what culture is before we can kind of divulge into whether something is the same or not. When you say Black culture and gay culture, you have gay in every culture. So it's not just in a Black culture. So to some degree, and let me just kind of throw in a statistic real quick.
Statistics. I thought you didn't believe in stats.
No, but for tonight, I decided to, be a little bit more proactive. Hold on a second. Let me find it right quick.
Hold on. Let me find my where is it at? There we go. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm being rude. I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
I have to, let me look for it real quick. But pretty much my answer to this is, again, it's kind of difficult and it's a little touchy because, again, culture can be defined in multiple ways, and I don't think that it's just a Black thing. I think you have gay in every culture, so that's a little difficult to kind of, yeah.
Kind of parcel out. Okay, no worries. We'll come back to you. JP, what's your thoughts?
I believe they try to use gay culture to coincide with so-called Black culture because both of them was given to us. We have neither one of those. There's no such thing as Black culture because whatever that we were given that. Black Americans was given a belief. Black Americans was given a stigma of how Black people are supposed to act, how Black people are supposed to move, how Black people talk. So when you say doing it for the culture, Black culture is something that they created for us to follow behind. And I don't think people realize Black culture is ignorance. That's what they gave us. They gave us ignorance and said this is Black culture because every other culture has discipline and every other culture has something that they follow behind for generations and generations and generations and generations, and something that they're proud of. That we as a Black people can look at other cultures and speak highly of other cultures. But when people look at that we call culture, they laugh at us. They don't respect us. But they see us as strong individuals because Black people can endure pain. Black people could be able to make something out of nothing. Black people, we can dance, we can sing, we have athletic abilities, we have talents. That's not what they attach Black culture to. They attach Black culture to ignorance. So when you bring gay into the situation, that's the only way that Black people can stand in the forefront and be respected is when we act in a fool and we also are being homosexuals. Because every homosexual, you just said every Black leader, the only ones that's respected is a gay leader. He said this leader was gay, but we have so many heterosexual leaders. Why would we bring up the gay leader? Why is that the one in the forefront? Because at the end of the day, you have to emasculate the man. Because at the end of the day, the Black leader, if he's going to be a Black man, he got to be gay. He got to be gay. He got to be emasculated for him to stand in front. And if he's not, then they'll put a strong Black woman in the forefront. So at the end of the day, gay culture plays a big part of it, especially if they want men to lead it. You have to put on a dress. You have to fight. You have to bend the knee to the alphabet community. There's no way that, and I don't believe social media and all this stuff. I don't believe it's real. None of these people really believe that. But with right now with social media, you pay millions and thousands of dollars to push the agenda. So it's not about the adults who's following up with this. It's the kids behind us that they're trying to compute shit with. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It's the most prominent ones that's easily persuaded and easily influenced, which is our kids behind us.
Interesting take. Des, did you want to expound a little bit more? You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say quickly, from the Washington Informer, this is by the Washington Informer or National News. It says that Blacks are more likely to identify as gay than any other group. On top of that, I don't want to make this specific to one particular gender, but it says, and this is from National Library of Medicine. National Library of Medicine. Considerable portion of the population, perhaps the majority portion of the male population, has at least some homosexual experience between adolescent and old age. In addition, about 60% of the pre-adolescent boys engage in homosexual activities, And there is an additional group of adult males who avoid overt contact, but who are quite aware of their potentials for reaching other males. So I don't necessarily want to classify this as a cultural, I don't think a cultural way would be the best way to describe this situation. Again, culture can be classified in a variety of ways, especially if we look up the definition of what a culture is. But to some degree, based off of stats and the experience of what we see going on, it would probably be better classified as a cultural thing. But again, it happens in every culture. So it may not be as widespread as our culture, but it's definitely happening all over the place.
Interesting take. Interesting take. Appreciate all y'all's insight into what brief synopsis before we kind of parcel out some of this information. But I guess my thing about black culture and black people in general is that we make the cardinal mistake of just believing that just because a particular group or class is part of the struggle, that they are part of the struggle that we identify as. And I think that's where the cardinal mistake therein lies, that the mistake that we made in aligning ourselves with the gay community. um I think gay culture, black culture, I think it's all one and the same. It's interchangeable. And I say that because if you look at black culture today and what we espouse, what we represent on a global stage, it's that of immorality, depravity, hypersexuality, and promiscuity, lasciviousness. Oh gosh, I got my man Marlon in the house. What's up, Marlon? Anyways, but yeah, and I think that's indicative of what we're seeing going on with the gay the gay culture right now. And I think all in all, the ultimate goal is, and I'm looking at my notes here, guys, because I wrote some stuff down. But I think all in all, the ultimate purpose is just for the expanding of political purposes. And there's a nefarious undergirding agenda that's essentially weaponizing black culture and gay culture for whatever that nefarious agenda is, ultimately. And I think it's all to undermine order, structure, and natural law. Um, oh gosh, what's up, mama? I got everybody in the house. But yeah, that's the way I see it. I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but I just see a subversion. I see a paradigm shift going on, and I think more and more black people are going to align themselves with this gay movement because we have pedestalized the gay community to the degree that they are now our gatekeepers. They are the guardians, the gatekeepers of of what our culture represents today. So that's just my synopsis. Anybody can jump in from there, and then we get this thing started.
Uh, I mean, you kind of hit something for me, man, because yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, even when we talk about obviously African Americans being more so prevalent in entertainment or whatnot in the situation, even when you look at like P. Diddy right now, you know what I'm saying? Like all the speculation about his sexual orientation, what he does, and him being a gatekeeper. And you seeing that being a situation where like in our communities, it's more so now like, okay, well, if I align to, that's why I think the trend is more trendy than it is people trying to actually be a part of that type of lifestyle because of the fact that like you said, and if you're looking at those communities, like I hate saying gay, but people that practice homosexuality, they're a lot more prevalent. They got a lot more success. They have a lot more opportunity. And I've actually worked in a company where I've seen that, firsthand, where you see everybody that's in like the top tier position, see you all, they're all a part of that community. And it's like, unless you like kind of abide by them or agree to what's going on, you won't be as successful. So I mean, in some parts, I could definitely agree to what you're saying in regards to that. Just because we're seeing their success, because of the fact that we want to connect with them, because we're kind of seeing that they're getting through. You know what I mean? As well as we, or as opposed to how much work we had to put in to get through the situation in order to get accepted. I think it's also tied down to what JP was saying in terms of being emasculated. Like in terms of there being male dominance, I think that obviously with there being a Eurocentric approach to things and how things are being established in this country, in order for us to actually be successful, we have to be able to bow down to them as being gatekeepers as well too. So I mean, we see that as a trend going forward. So if we can adapt to them and the homosexual agenda and get their approval, then at that point we'd be more widely accepted. So I could definitely agree to what you're saying, man.
I mean, my man Celtar asks, but what is the black has black culture been defined?
One real quick, JP. I didn't know. I didn't realize I had my mic on mute, but I just want to say this. Marlon, you are more than welcome to jump on if you'd like to opine on tonight's topic. I would just love to hear your thoughts on this, but no pressure, my friend. Go ahead, JP.
I mean, he asked if black culture is defined yet. It never will be because it's not real. Black culture is not real. It's no such thing as black culture because again, we're the only ones that came over here not knowing anything. How can we really don't understand where we came from, our lineage, no matter how much history we can go back and say that we're reading, we don't know. We have no idea. We are walking and operating on what someone has given us. And it's only up to us to start using our minds and our moral compass of understanding the stuff that they have given us that said is the black culture, the quote unquote black culture, is foolishness. Because there's no way that I should feel like no matter through my struggle, I got to sell dope, I have to sell poison to my community to come up. I got to kill my own community to be able to come up. There's no reason why I feel like just because gay pays right now, that I should feel like to get out of my situation, I have to follow this agenda. No, when we say that it was done to shame us, why are we falling victim and fantasizing and being able to be being subjective to doing that to the younger community, or also not only that, in the rape culture of a sodomy, of being able to rape another man, or just being in a relationship of a homosexual relationship. If that was brought upon a man from shaming him and demoralizing him, where do we come from finding desire from that, of saying that that's love? Where did that come from? And it's only with our culture. That's on. It's because it's done in all culture. Theirs was correct. It's in every culture. But when you look at TV, it's idolized, it's pushed, that it comes and it's heavy within our culture.
Because if you notice, black people are the only and I just want to say this real quick, JP. I just want to interject. I apologize, but black people are the only group that invests scholarship into this. They're the only one that will invest scholarship, knowledge, and information and research. Like they will listen, granted, it's happening all over the schools, but would you see how it's interwoven that to be black is to accept the gay lifestyle? And it's almost like there's virtually no pushback to it. But go ahead, JP. I'm sorry.
But no, what I was saying is, we the only ones that accept that. Because every gay commercial is either two black gay couples or it's a black interracial relationship. But the one who's the spokesman and talking that has the most lines in the commercial is the gay black man. He's the one that's walking past the camera, the camera's following him. He's the one that's promoting. Every HIV commercial is the black man. It's two gay black men, African-American man. He has to be gay. And he's the one, the spokesman behind HIV. We don't realize that, honestly and truly, most sexual transmitted diseases pass from a woman to a man is because a man was having homosexual activities between each other and passing it to a woman. sexual transmitted diseases lay dormant through men. But women only, if it had not been for a woman to be able, it's not gonna be able to lay dormant between her. A lot of men, you wouldn't know about this gay stuff going on because you wouldn't know who has what disease, because she's the one who's saying, hey, look, I got something, you need to go get checked. A lot of those diseases are coming from the homosexual behavior.
And if I can also interject in this, because I have a 13-year history working in healthcare, and I don't really like making this a colored situation, because I can honestly say in a work day, I may see a little bit more the white or European groups of people who are, it is a high level of European individuals. Now, I don't necessarily see so many Indians or Africans, or and I don't even want to
We
limit
are not gay. I know y'all saw that.
what.
The
But
African, yeah,
look though,
I
the
mean,
African.
we have it all over, but when I say I want to separate African and American, not African American, Africans, Nigerians, Sierra Leone. When I say that, I see more black and I see more white than I see any other race. So I really don't, and I think it's more of us than it is a lot of other people. However, based off my observation, I've seen more white and black men in this shindig. So again, I don't, and then if we, and I just want to take a second, because I know we utilize words every day, and a lot of the time we know the word and we think we know the definition, but we don't always strategically know the definition. So the definition of culture is the art and other manifestations of human intellectual achievements regarded collectively. So to even put culture into it, for me, I don't like, because culture can be, hey, be quiet. Culture, excuse me, can be viewed as a culture can be viewed as more or less an art form, or but technically it is a manifestation, which is something that people collectively think come together on a particular issue with. But when we say culture, I really don't want to utilize the word culture, if that makes any sense. I just don't
Okay.
think I don't think that that's a fair word to
but
use.
even so, but when I made the response about the sexual diseases, that wasn't predicated solely on black men. I said men, period.
No, and I know, but I just wanted to throw that out there because again, it's happening everywhere.
But what can you expect when you say that you see a lot of white men, when the bestiality came from that? If we want to use culture on the definition that you said, that is correct, because none of that they gave to the black culture is what we're really about. But also, but when you do want to look at the history of the white American or the white European, you know, that's what they follow behind. They always shamed, they always had bestiality, they had all of that. You know what I'm
They still
saying?
do. They
And
still
that's,
legalize the certain
But
states.
then why does it seem more prevalent that black people are taking the credit for that, almost as if
because they're choosing to take the money, because it's they're choosing, when it's being when it is being promoted online, it's promoted because they're taking the money to be able to promote it. But honestly, the one what you're saying of the mostly that you see in the public that's enduring this and that's living this, most of that came from childhood trauma. A lot of that what you seeing in this day and time now, the gay, but back then, like in the 80s, the 90s, it came deep rooted from gang culture, being molested, and being down low, and it was don't ask, don't tell. The gay that's now is agenda driven and ideology driven right now. That's what it is right now. These kids is really not gay. These kids that's trying to that's quote unquote saying transitioning, this is all fruity stuff to just push an agenda and mind fuck the mind. That's all of this is it's internet stuff. It's fictitious. It's not real.
But I think if I can interject real quick.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I don't
And then Marlon, I want you to chime in after Dez, if you don't mind, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think this situation kind of goes back centuries and centuries ago. We can go back to the times of slavery when to degrade a man, they would, go through the back door. It was a way of showing a form of masculinity. So and it wasn't our people that was pushing that. It was pushed on to us. And it was kind of like just like slavery. More people, the more we saw it, the more it became a normalized way of living. It's no different than if you see a gay man dressed like a woman right now, you're not going to say, oh my God, there's a gay man dressed like a woman. You're going to say, okay, here we see it. Now, if we go back a few centuries ago, that would have been like mind blowing. Like, what the fuck? So I think this is something it over centuries and decades of time became normalized due to a particular way of living, which again, this shit was happening during slavery. Like this shit was happening during slavery to put Black men, especially, in a particular role of submission.
But it kept them in a box because we had shame. It kept them in a box. It kept, and with back then it was don't ask, no tell, and they kept them in the box. Just
but
like
I just think y'all are totally removing agency from full grown adults. Y'all are just totally removing agency. They listen, this is of their own volition, personal responsibility. And when you remove agency, you're taking away that individual's ability, you're relinquishing that individual's ability to think. And I can't co-sign that.
I don't.
Well, hold up, y'all. Let me hear. I want Marlon to chime in and then follow up.
Hey, what's up, people? JP, you said something that was kind of intriguing to me. You said that we were handed a culture, and we don't know what our own is. I'm speaking as though I've been ostracized from the Black community. That's what I was told. I'm not Black anymore. So I'm speaking from the outside in now. I have upgraded. I've ascended apparently. So I don't have a
Black
culture
card,
either,
man.
apparently. So I don't have a culture neither.
Oh no.
Wow.
Who would have handed Black people that culture if white people don't have a culture themselves?
But white people, by the definition that she said, white people do have a culture.
What is their culture?
Because the definition that she gave is it's something that you continue to follow behind and you don't break the cycle.
I get it, but what is their culture?
The difference between the culture that they possess is discipline of power, control, and discipline of staying afloat of whatever that the ideology or the mission or the agenda is. They follow it, because if we were enslaved, or if for 500 years or whatever that we claim that we have been, they have not broken a cycle yet. From generation on generation, if we have been held down like people say that we are, how have no white person ever broken discipline of not falling victim of how we supposed to follow behind them? When it comes to Indian culture, when it comes to Chinese culture, when they stand firm on a certain way that they live. If they say that they can only have one child, if they believe that you can only have one child in the household and it is punishable by X, Y, and Z, they stick to it. Black people, when whatever that our values are, we don't stick by them. If we say gay should not come into our church, our lives, we still forgive and say, oh, bring them into church because God can save them.
But that doesn't happen anywhere but here.
Yes, in Western culture, yes.
Right. So
when I say black culture in America, black people in America,
okay,
we don't have anything.
So who gave them that culture? You said we were given a culture. So who gave it, and what culture were they handed?
So growing up, especially in public school, with we have in low income areas, when it comes to the educational system, we are indoctrinated. They have been indoctrinated to where there's a certain level of curriculum that, again, when it comes to black people, we don't teach our kids within our house. The black culture they have allowed the school to raise them, and as generations have came forward, they have gotten dependent on the public school system. Now teachers have become babysitters, glorified babysitters, because black parents are just sending them to school and hoping that they teach them everything instead of what we of values and morals at the house. That I can only now, when I send my kids to school, it's supposed to be a bridge and not just for them being able to be taught.
So whose morals and whose standards?
Say what?
Whose morals and whose standards?
I see where Marlon going.
But are you going to asking the question of if we don't have a culture, if we don't know one, how would we have morals?
What are you handing down?
From us?
No. You say, okay, so let me back up to if you're saying right now that we have nothing and we don't stand on our word, that's not really the truth. I think there is a certain amount of us that do that, and then there is a certain amount of us that do have a grasp on our actual culture, and it's a homogenous culture. And I don't think we want to have we would love to have a nationwide culture, but it's not possible because there are too many ignorant people that don't want a group culture. And the ones that are gravitating to what is considered now a group culture are the depraved. Now, if you look at our actual culture that we could have brought forward that we decided not to, from about the 1840s, 1835 to about 1933, 34, there was a massive amount of family-based culture in the Black community. And after a certain point, we decided, and it is like Neil was saying, it's an agency issue, decided to give that up for what? The other side of it is that you had probably about 40% that took the bait. The others were ostracized from that particular community. They're no longer considered Black. Look at it this way. The Black people have the choice to call their own people Black. Instead, they call them sellouts. So when you see that there's a Black family that decided to move away from this current culture and they have their own home, they live in a gated community, they're no longer considered what? Black. They're not part of the Black community. Why are they not part of a Black community when they're living in America and they're Black? They're not, because they're not participating in what and this is, it's a minority issue of the minority that want to push this as our identity. And when the people like us come forward and say that shouldn't be our identity, what are you going to be called? You're going to be called acting white. If you try to get an education, you're acting white. You talk proper, that's not proper. You need to talk white. That's talking white. And then you have to talk Ebonics. If you don't talk Ebonics, you're not part of the Black culture. If you're not from here, you're not part of the Black culture. So there's no real unity in figuring out what is what. So when I asked you, what exactly were we handed in America? There is no answer for it, because what we were handed, we don't want.
Right.
The Black community right now, what we were handed, nobody wants. I wouldn't want it. I don't want to be identified like that. If you're trying to tell me that the Black community is music and good food and family, I can kind of get behind that, but not everybody likes music and not everybody is into the kind of food that Black Americans like. So it's not like I can say that's my culture. The same thing with white people. If you look from Arkansas to Maine, it's not the same white people. From Florida to Washington State, not the same white people. They still live here, but there's not the same culture whatsoever. So they don't really share, the white people in America don't even share the same culture. So why are we expecting Black people to share the same culture throughout the United States?
Good point.
Why is it that we need to look the same, act the same, talk the same, be the same, and identify with a culture when everything is different from every aspect of the United States? I'm not going to expect someone in Florida to behave the same, dress the same, act the same as someone in Washington State. It's not going to happen because ain't nobody going in 30-degree weather down in Florida, and then what are going to have winter like they do up here. And so I can't expect people in California to behave that just because they're Black to behave like people in New York. It's not going to be the same culture.
That goes back to what you said though about the percentage of the ones that chose to go this way and the ones that chose to go this way, because any of us have the withal to say I don't want that. But then what you're saying of the other percentage that does fall into that trap, it goes back to what you were saying, that you can't expect a person in Florida to act a certain way and act the same in California. But what we have right now is the agency that you're talking about of the choice of people using what we have, which is social media. That is their influence for everybody to be mindful to act the same way, because you continuously seeing that. I never disagreed with absolving the agency that you're talking about. I believe that everybody has the full right to choose to pick, and that they're choosing to go that route. I'm not absolving that, but what I'm saying is what is coming from is from the lack of intelligence, the lack of discipline, of not allowing to be so easily influenced by this social media, this media product that we have, that they're falling victim to that.
Okay. So I lived in Arkansas for a bit. And if you know anything about Arkansas, there's a large population of broke white people. Like, I mean,
I can attest to
they broke.
that living in Texas.
Oh, they broke. Like duct tape as a door on my car broke. Okay. And when you look at that, they have the same influences on TV about white people being rich, picket fence, and being a certain way. That is being pushed on them. You know what they don't care about? That. And they live the way they got to live. And then you have a bunch of Black people who will see Black rappers and want to be and emulate that. So here's my biggest question for the whole panel. Do you believe that Black Americans on a whole are mentally deficient and cannot choose right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I stand with that.
Hold on. First of all,
Hold on.
Absolutely.
I just want him to re-ask the question.
Absolutely. That and
hold on.
and that's why I was
just re-ask the question.
But I look at it at both sides.
Hold on, everybody. One at a time. Go
Can
ahead.
you just
JP.
re-ask the question first so that we can have a clear understanding of what he's asking? Because I didn't quite catch the whole question.
I don't think you or Quill, because he kind of stepped back when he heard the question too. So he made.
I just want to be clear on what exactly.
I'm glad you want to be. I'm glad you want to be clear, because most people don't want to be clear.
Yes,
Please,
that's
and I think that's a good step that people need to recognize when you're clear. Kat, where have you been? You've been absent, and you need to tell me where you've been. We got. I'm gonna have some words for you later. Don't worry about that.
He's got words for you, Kat.
Oh, you in trouble now. You got people inboxing me where you are. That's not good. Okay. So do you believe as a whole that Black, and I'm going to limit it to Black America, I'm going to try and make this as succinct as possible, Black Americans are mentally deficient when it comes to making decisions?
Not at all.
Retard alert.
My bad.
I can't say that. I feel like
okay, state your opposition, Jaquil.
I mean, I feel like we're fully capable. I feel like we should be able. We've been able to make decisions. We've been educated. We can definitely walk into certain doors and things. And it's all about choice. Like I think it's all at this point whether or not people want to be able to go out there and really go out there and not be lazy or, apply themselves in this situation. I don't think we're deficient at all.
Okay.
But what makes us choose to not go the opposite route? What makes us? What you say is either laziness. What really stops us from not
Arrested Development. But
what stops us then? For you to say that you don't believe that
Arrested Development.
But
go ahead.
We can't.
I yield the floor.
That is true. But what really is
we got it. Hold on. We got some feedback. That you, Jacquel? I think we got a little feedback, man. There you go. All right, go ahead.
But you can say that you don't agree with it, but it's been a proven fact, though. It's been a proof. What they saying is the black culture. It's proven fact that whatever that they're saying is the black culture, they can't get it right. They're not able to think for themselves, though. What we keep saying, doing it for the culture. The evidence is showing that culture, those set of black folks can't think for themselves because they're following behind what social media or what society is pushing them to think what's cool, what's not, and they follow behind it. But Marlon goes to say the small number, there's a number of people who divide it out that says, I don't want that.
See, I think it's been an intentional, like, I think everything has just been an intentional thing. Like, I don't know how to, I'm trying to put it into the best words. I don't think that we're just not capable. I think that there's been so much of a beat down on us for so long that, I mean, you can even do like studies on like bonobo chimpanzees and the genetic trauma and stuff like that as well has been passed down. I truly believe in that. Not everybody does, but I feel like there's things that's been trickled down from, we got 300 years worth of history of just dealing with a lot of bull crap. So I feel like until we're able to actually be left alone and actually figure out our situation without anybody else tampering with our opportunities to be able to grow as a group of individuals, and not be deprived to look at certain, I feel like, I don't know how to describe it, like the carrot being hung over the horse. It's like, until we able to actually.
I got a better one for you.
Hold up, JP. Let him finish real quick. Let him finish. You finished your thought?
No, go ahead. I like to hear everybody's thoughts.
Okay, go ahead.
He's on that about the dangling, right? So I told Dez this one time about a story that my uncle told me a long time ago about the sense of control that of us not being able to think for ourselves. For example, we have become like the baby elephant. When the elephant is a baby, the zookeeper or whoever ties something around your leg, the baby elephant's leg, and put a stake in the ground. Every time the baby elephant tries to run, the stake is in the ground, it snatches him back. He keeps trying to run, it snatches him back. But so as he keeps getting older, it's computing in his mind that every time he runs back, every time he runs forward.
Yeah, it's like the frog in the boiling water effect. I got what you're saying.
But and as he becomes a full-grown elephant after all these years of that same effect of trying to run and getting snatched back, he doesn't realize how strong he is to where that little stake in the ground can't keep him there anymore.
But that's one element.
That comes to weird when you're saying that we're beat down so much, but that is our choice because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, if that elephant would have kept trying, if his motivation is to get out of his situation, he would never quit. He will keep trying until that stake in the ground kills him for trying to get away. After a while, our minds being so weak, we give up and saying, well, it's been snatching me back this whole time. Let me stop trying.
So when you say that, the only thing I have to kind of bring to the table with that is, so since we know that we've been beat down, do you agree that, if we had opportunity to kind of just focus on ourselves, develop our own communities, develop our own culture, and actually be left alone and actually sort of develop as a people, as a race of individuals, at that point we would stop being so deficient that if we were just left alone to be able to figure out our situation like they were trying to attempt in 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they were trying to attempt.
We didn't never want to be left alone. Martin messed that up.
I mean, Martin was in.
We had a chance to be alone, but we wanted a piece of the white only pie. Now, do it
Malcolm
taste
was,
as good as we thought it did now that we get to taste it?
okay. And I think Martin was influenced, and like I was saying before, the person that was actually leading his entire agenda in regards to the nonviolent protest was a part of that community. Not to knock anybody, but I feel like that was another. This like these little seeds that's being planted in every time we try to create something that's going to be able to kind of focus. There's little seeds that are being planted into those situations. It kind of like diverges from able to focus on the true issue and find the real solution. So all I'm saying is that if we had the opportunity to kind of just focus and isolate ourselves and focus on what we need to do, just as a group of individuals and come together like we were trying to do at different points. I mean, they assassinated one of my favorite leaders, which is Fred Hampton. I'm from Chicago, whatever, but they assassinated him because, of course, they have this thing with the about COINTELPRO, and obviously, if you're able to come together, they have this Black Messiah complex. I feel like it's just fear. They're fear of our communities coming together because they know our strengths, they know the pyramids, they know.
Hold up, JP.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I apologize. I want you to chime in after Jaquil go, and then Marlon. I'm sure he has something to say too.
Yeah, I got one more question when they're done.
So, yeah, everybody's studying this. So it's like if we had opportunities to really just focus on ourselves, understand our greatness versus just being entertainers and people that's out there in front of the limelight, things of the nation, actually focus on developing, owning our grocery stores, owning our own car dealerships, doing things that's going to allow us to be self-sufficient, then we wouldn't be deficient. But of course, every time we've tried to do those type of things, there's always something that's kind of like put in there to kind of diverge us from.
I just find that interesting. I just find that interesting that this degree of prosperity that you're this utopian like community that you're describing was really thriving when we adopted Judeo-Christian values. I just find that interesting. But go ahead, Des.
I know Neil, you more than anybody probably not going to agree, but I think this is just one of those clear-cut two things can be right. I think that we do have a variety of Black people who are very smart, who are very educated, and who do produce, that do produce. However, we also have a variety of individuals who are deficient in ways that they don't try. You know what I'm saying? They don't try. Only the strong survive, and that's real. Only the strong survive, and I think you can't put a definite answer on this type of subject because we have some that do and we have some that don't. We still have the same psychological issues that we've had for generations. We have some people that get us out of those political wise, whether religion wise, whatever the case is, with the feminist movement or all of these empowerment movements. We have people that really do try to get out of that psychological barrier by creating change. But then we also have a group of people who are still stuck on stupid, who don't want to, who do have the fear of change. So I can't put a decisive amount on who is and who isn't, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay. So then the ultimate question then is, do we even need a culture?
That's a good question.
So if we're not abiding by one right now. Okay. And the one that is identified is trash. Okay. So we're not going to get the other side who are trash to identify with the smart side. So do we need a culture because here, I see there's a problem here. We're asking people to participate in what we call Black culture, when we can obviously look at Black culture and realize that it is not one, culture, or two, good, okay? It's not good. So why are we trying to include or bring people to this that don't want our best interest? Secondly, if the goal here is unity, and the ones that have right now the limelight don't want unity, and they call that culture, why would you want culture? I don't want, if that's the way it is, if that's how you want to identify, then we'll consider this a wash. You have that and you call it whatever you want. And the rest of us who are Black Americans will just continue doing what we do to make our family thrive. My culture will remain within my home, and y'all can go ahead and be stupid, get shot, twerk all day long, drop your babies off at Planned Parenthood, let them get decapitated, all that nonsense. You go do that, have fun doing that. The rest of us, we go identify the culture by our home, by the mom, the dad, the daughter, the son, and move on along with that. And we don't even need to worry about, oh, but we need to have a group identity. No, we don't. No, we don't. We could start our own movement of not having a movement. That would be great.
I mean, but and to a degree,
oh my
I
God,
agree.
that's so true. Go
I
ahead. I'm
really
sorry.
do agree because, like I said, you know, in every culture, everybody in the white culture doesn't want to be like the white person.
Exactly.
Everybody in the Indian culture don't want to be like. You got people in the white culture that want to be black. You got black people that want to be white. You
But
got
they don't call
Indians that want
themselves
to be.
part of the white culture either. They don't even call themselves part of white culture. The white people
Never
don't even
heard
say
it.
that.
Never
So
heard
I
The
it.
just
black
think,
people
like
gave
I
them
said,
that title. We actually gave them that title of white culture. White people never said that.
And I think, and again, that's true. And me
Again, yep.
personally, I don't all these titles and this and that. I just feel like why can't we just be individuals? But you know, you do have again a collective group of people. Let's say educated or wealthy people. One thing wealthy people have in common is they don't congregate with ignorant people.
Yeah.
They have a group of their own, and the
That's true.
wealthy people stay strictly with the wealthy people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
So again, and then you have the other ones that don't look at wealth the same. You got money ain't everything. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that if you want to be a collective group, if you all can come together and say, hey, this is our group, let's just do this, then do that. If not, then go about your business. I just think it's just too much to try to put everybody in a collective category or in a collective box. Because again, like one thing I like about Kanye West is that he has the ability to switch his mind. And the reason I think he's so controversial is because he understands that time changes, nothing stays the same. So what may have been at this time may not be this time. And it's okay to change your mind. However, when it comes to people as a collective, when it starts to affect in a negative way how we live, how we thrive, that's when I think it becomes a problem.
The problem is this: a lot of people look outside their house and try to align or sit there and line up where they're at as a bar of what the bar is of how they're supposed to look, rather than trusting your values, your morals, and how you stand firm and saying what I have here, knowing that what I have here is going to align out there, because if I know that I'm doing the right thing, if I know that I'm leading my household the right way, I don't have to worry about when I go outside, it's going to be some foolishness, because if everybody stood firm on morals and the way that they and where we live, everything will be all right. But we're so focused on right now in this day and time when it comes to it again. And if you throw away the word culture, but as Black people as a whole, we have this thing where we look left and look right, and we down the street looking at what they got going on. And we measure that from with us, because again, we got to keep up with that person, got to keep up with that person. Rather than again, what you have a comparison is the thief of joy. And that's something that I live by, because how can I be grateful and be able to bask in anything that I feel that I have that is the greatest thing possible if I keep aligning with looking at
So can we just affirmatively say, put on the record, that Black culture is
going away
not,
from have a culture?
it's paganism. Can we just say that
Ideology? Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean,
today Black culture represents paganism? Can we say that?
We
That's
can.
I
And
can't
holiday.
agree.
one more thing too. I think we would have been further ahead in, even if we were to, okay, let's just say we were wanting to have a group identity. Okay. What we have ended up doing is we have a pool and we kind of let it sit, and we didn't clean the pool. And every time we went back to the pool, we didn't take a shower, and we got in the water and we took whatever our day's work was. And by the end of the week, if you ever own the pool, it's green. And then we never shock it. And then we expect the pool to look good and welcome people. And we're going to have a pool party and people look at your pool. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not jumping in there. That's for you. You can go ahead and swim in that, but that's not. That might be the neighborhood pool, but this neighbor is not going in that because that looks like the hood. Now, when you look back at our population is at what, 44, 45 million right now?
Yep.
Somewhere in there.
44. Yep. 44.
Okay. So the population now in 2023, 44 million. And just about the advent, about 2 years before the advent of Planned Parenthood, we were in we were at 29 million. Okay. This was in 1963, 29 million of us. Between 1965 and right about 2019, do you know how many abortions there were in between that time and 2019? There were a loss of 20 million black babies. And that's not, I'm not lying about that. So let's say 20 million black babies.
Right.
We had 30 million of us, would have got us at 50. So we already would have been ahead by 10 million because we would have been at like 58 million right now, right? So if we're at 58 million or 50, let's say we're at 50 million, not counting in our offspring from 1965 till now, if you didn't double every individual, say you only had 10 million people that duplicated. And so now 10 million created another 10 million. So now you have another 20 million on top. So now you're at 65 million. If the 10 million doubled in between that, another 5 million doubled in between that. On the low end, we would have been at 95 million black Americans.
Yep.
We would have had 95 million stronger. We would have had families, and we would not have had this culture pushed on us because we would have been following the plan of what procreation would be like. We would need something to be handed to us, and we would definitely not have worries about what our culture was because the culture would have been invested in family. But because the few gave in to us, and I do mean the few, gave into a certain kind of mindset, they ended up creating a whole brand new destructive life that some others that were thinking at the time fell into because you know what, they wanted to be accepted. And when you start to do that, you end up destroying the pool. You bring your day's work and you just jump in the water and everything becomes mess. So what do you have to do by the end of the day if you want your pool back to look good? You have to clean the pool. Or you could do like some of us end up doing and find a new house without a pool and just say, screw the pool. I need one. I can just go to the community one when I need to and go home and take a shower and never have to look like the rest of the people there. But now you have a pool that's completely depleted of all joy. It's depleted of all use. And you have to eventually bite the bullet and shock the pool. Let it sit there. Don't let it be used. And this is a part of what we got to do. Don't participate in black culture. Don't give it no mind. We shock it. We shock the shit out of black culture and don't participate, don't identify, don't mention it, don't talk about it. We don't buy into it. We don't buy their gifts. We don't buy their CDs. We don't buy the music. We don't pay attention. We don't give it any resources. And
No
watch
oxygen.
that sick dog just shrivel up and die because we have the power. There are, I would believe, of the 45 million, there are probably 28 to 30 million of us who don't buy into that crap.
So
but because the 10 million are paying into it, it stays alive. I think if we just
Mm-hmm.
stop paying attention to it, it'll go away. It really will because they have nothing to feed off of. We don't pay them any attention.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this.
Yeah,
Let
I
me ask
agree.
you
I agree with that.
So when you said the doubling of the number, right? If abortions wasn't there, if we even, I mean, is it safe to say if we take it a little further, let's not even talking about the doubling, and we saying what the number could have been, but if the number is that high, would it be that high if this wasn't most abortions are coming out of wedlock relationship, If we cut that out the way, will we still subtract the number? If we cut that number out, do we have to worry about abortions? If we stand firm onto a moral compass to where we're not
That's why, yes, that's why I
willy-nilly and having these kids out of wedlock.
Of course.
We don't even have this number.
That's what I was saying. But we
Yes.
bought into this concept of a brand. Okay, so people think rap started in the 70s or late 60s. It did not. It started in the 20s. And ska was that rap. Okay, when ska came about, ska was was what I guess you would consider mostly black because it was so rhythm centric. And with ska coming out, it was a whole lot of the gyration dancing that popped in. And if you watch how the culture started to shift, it went away from having home to be home to being out dancing to ska music. This is what black culture gravitated to. Once that got into the minds of people saying, I need some reprieve. I'm going to go party. I don't need to be home. And if I am home, I got to work. I don't want to have kids. So I'm not going to have kids no more. And the best way to not have kids is, they're offering abortion. All of it came back to choice. Yep. If I got, and this is what I don't understand about it, and this is what got me really separated from the majority of Black Americans. The theory that they dump drugs in the Black community.
Oh my God.
This is what I keep asking people. So if someone came up to you and says, "Hey man,
so stupid.
Hey man, I got some powder for you, man. You want some powder?" And you'd be like, "No, you better take it, man." I'd be like, "No, I better not." If you have the choice, which you did, to sell it, not only did you take it, pick it up, you picked it up, you tried it, and then you gave it to the guy next to you. And then you made money on it. So how is that the white man's fault if they put it on the ground and you walked up to it, took it up and took it over to your neighbor? How is that white man's fault? It ain't white man to put drugs in your hand. The white man may have presented it to you. He might have presented it to you. I'm not negating his role in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that somebody introduced it to somebody, but you got to be a different level of stupid to say, you know what? That's a good idea. It killed some people. I'm gonna give it to homie over here. Hey, homie, you want some? And you see homie, you like big dummy, and you see him like this, and you're like, this is a good idea. Let's hand it to somebody else. And the next person,
right?
No, that's a different level of stupid. So I can't hand you the excuse. Not you people on the panel, but I can't hand people the excuse that somebody else made you do this. One thing has to be true, or two things have to be true. You intentionally did it because you hated your own people, or you're too stupid to be given the responsibility of life. And I think the majority of it is the latter. You're too stupid to be given the responsibility of life. I really do believe that. And what ends up happening, you give the stupid people the platform, and it's by design. I get that. It's by design.
There you go. Yep.
But we buy into the design.
Thank you.
How did Tyler Perry become this famous? It wasn't just Black people and it wasn't just white people, right? Tyler Perry is one of the worst influences on Black culture ever outside of Flip Wilson. He's the most demeaning, degrading Black person I have ever seen, and he makes everything a mockery. Who in the world would think to make an old Black lady talk that stupid and make it sound like it's so funny? It's so funny, and it's not funny. What you're telling Black and white people is that Blacks are too stupid to have an intelligent culture. That's what it is. And it's not white people that made Medea. It's a Negro that made Medea. Yep. And he did it because he could abuse people. The same way that Dr. Dre and the same way that Jay-Z made his money by killing Negroes, he did that. They went on a rampage to murder Black people, make music about murdering Black. Don't blame Jews. Your stupid behind decided to give the Jews the time of day to sell that stuff. You wanted to. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
You can't blame Jews for that, and you can't blame white people for that. And Kanye bought into it too. All of the rap, they bought into it at some point, saying, "Yeah, that's money though." Yep. And after all, we do kill each other. I'm just rapping about what I see. That's the excuse they gave.
I might be telling on myself. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Jaquil.
No, I was easily influenced because my dad, he had me listen to gangster rap since I was a kid. So, I mean, your parents sometimes can also play their part. I'm not trying to make it an excuse, but I was heavily influenced by like Eazy-E, NWA, Too Short, and even now sometimes when I try to do music, I regurgitate stuff. I'm like, where did that even come from? But it's like engraved in me. But it's like if you have some of those influences already there in the household, that can be just as destructive. So I can definitely understand what he's saying as well too, man. But for those that don't know the difference, what do you say to those folks to be able to gravitate to them so that they can know how to not be stupid? Because sometimes people are born into gang culture. And
all you do is
born
tell
into these better.
You don't need to convince, and this is our problem. We try to beat a dead horse. If they're stupid enough to gravitate to it, you think they're going to be smart enough to listen to you?
Right.
They're not. Some of them have to learn the hard way. I have 4 boys, and the 4 of my boys ain't the same smart. I'm gonna tell you that. Not all of them are created equal in intelligence. All right. I mean, they're fairly smart, but some of them. Look, I'm gonna be frank with people. Some of my boys are as dumb as rocks. Right?
Oh my gosh!
Like I will tell one of we. It's so bad that we had one of our kids that we say, "Oh, you pulled an Ethan, man." When you screw up bad, you pull in. Yeah, you pull in Ethan, bro. You can't be doing that. And that's. But he is now the mathematician of the family. He's now the brain, right? But he used to do some real stupid stuff. And then my oldest one did the real stupid stuff and got tied up with the law no matter how much I told him. You know what I had to do? He's my kid now. This is blood. This is not just some friend on the street. I had to release him. I had to say, well, you know what, bro? Do you? You don't want to listen to me? Okay. Tell you what, when you get caught by the law and you get arrested, don't call me then. I don't want to hear you, see you, smell you, sniff you, nothing. You do your thing, good. Enjoy the consequences of your actions. You know what eventually happened? He got tired.
He changed his ways.
He got tired. Because here's the thing: when he realized that I was no longer getting upset by his action, it didn't empower him. Because he was banking on my reaction to continue doing the shit he was doing. And when he didn't get that reinforcement, he was like, I really messed up. Now my family don't like me. My mama don't like me. My dad, nobody. Oh man, I gotta. Okay. And then he had to, the switch went off. But what we end up doing today is we enable. We buy the album, we regurgitate the song, we watch the movie, we give them the money, and then we say black excellence. That's what we call black excellence. That's not black excellence.
First of all, I want to thank God for promoting all this violence and me.
That is,
all these women.
thank you. Exactly, right? So they get on stage and then they herald back to the slavery days and praise Jesus and they sing their spirituals. All of a sudden they're in front of the award
Negro spirituals,
They know the spirituals all of a sudden. That's like, so hold on. So you team up with Massa to get your brothers killed, write a song about it, make money from Massa, and then go up and thank God like you were a slave. You are a different level of stupid. And you know, but who's more stupid? We are for giving them the time. And then I was one of them. I paid money to buy CDs that went into their pockets to regurgitate the same lies to the next generation to kill them. I was partially responsible, and I take responsibility for that. I did.
As was I. That
was me. Yeah. And I think what we have to start pushing is not harping on what is black culture, but putting it aside. We're done with the identity. We're done with trying to find one. I am going to take care of my family. You know what's eventually going to happen? Each black family that finds their identity in family will find themselves with a family, and they won't be burying another person in the next couple of weeks. They won't have to worry about a bond. They won't have to worry about visiting in the jail. And won't be celebrating coming out of jail. You'll be celebrating the right thing. But we really can't afford, not at 45 million. And that number is going down. It's not going up.
But
we cannot at 45 million give into this culture anymore.
We're gonna be stagnant for another 50 years at this rate. And I wanted to kind of chime in. Gosh, I just had it. 1 second. Oh yeah,
man, can't remember nothing.
I know, right? Dementia setting in already. Anyway, so and I think another crucial element to this problem we're talking about. I'm glad you brought it right back to family, because that is fundamentally the building blocks of any great society. And I've said this on countless lives. Y'all know I have. What we also see happening is the redefining of marriage. And that right there is another crutch to the issue. Us redefining marriage is only going to stifle what we're trying to do in a healthy society, which is build families. And I think that defining marriage as a man and a man and a woman and a woman, and introducing all of this and essentially divorcing the bond, which is love, from sex, divorcing that bond from sex, which is love and marriage, is why we see the ushering in of all this promiscuity.
Wait, what?
That's what
we've separated love from marriage. We've now made it just about, oh, I just like this person. This is what I identify. We've removed the actual meaning of marriage anymore.
Yes, there you go.
We've swapped out what love is to be like what love and lust have now swapped places.
Yep.
As long as I see you're a booty and I like it, that's love.
Yep.
Or materialism, how can
that's
it gain?
It.
It's like almost
that's
like
it. It ain't love no more. Like, okay,
yeah,
it used to be love was in hard and in easy. Now love it. If it gets too hard, I'm taking half your shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's marriage now.
Yep,
it's not like, let's see how we can work past this.
I'm gonna kind of disagree with that. First of all, me personally, and again, it could be my upbringing, it could be again, I think when we need to separate family and marriage, first of all, I think there needs to be a separation, because you don't have to be married to have a family, and you don't have to be married to have a strong family. And we saw this to some degree in a polygamous form, where you had one man and multiple wives. And in this case, it was
Multiple what? Multiple what?
wives.
So they were married? Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay.
So, and well, even if we take the black and white print off the table, even still, regardless, you don't need marriage to build a family. You don't need marriage to build a society. And again, we keep putting titles and placing people in these we have to have categories. And I just think that, again, just like this cultural thing, we have to stop trying to define everything in a category and saying that people have to do this.
What's the downside of marriage?
To work.
What's the negative side of marriage?
So again, frustration.
You get that in a relationship either way, married or not. So what's the downside of marriage?
But again, but when you're married, these are more or less guaranteed situations. It's not easy to walk away when it's black and white because it's contractual. So there is a huge difference between marriage and being single. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, one is easier because you can wuss out. That's easy to see.
But it's not about wussing out. It's not about wussing out. What it is that, again, just like we stated, even when Miss Jane was on here, people just get into these relationships for their own personal benefit. And if this is something that we consistently see, then what is the purpose of marriage? I've heard a lot of guys come on here and say, oh, marriage only benefits the woman. Well,
that's like saying you don't need a diet because diet don't work when you don't apply the actual rules of the diet. That's so look, if you tell me go on a diet, and if you don't follow the diet, you're gonna gain weight. And then you go and gain weight, and then you tell me, well, diets don't work. No, nigga, you didn't eat. You did not follow the diet. Don't tell me marriage don't work because you don't follow actual marriage. That's
I
not
never,
the same
first
thing.
of all, let's get it clear. I never said marriage did not work.
You literally just did.
What I said was we need to separate the two, marriage and family.
They're the same thing. One brings the other. One brings the other.
It's not the same thing. Did you
then welcome to black culture. That's why black culture is the way it is. Thank you. I'm glad you agree with that.
When I said I don't need to be married to have a family.
Black culture. I'm glad you agree. That's black culture.
So what are you proposing, Dad?
If I decide to raise my daughter and not have a man, I still have my family. You can't sit
No, you
here
got a
and tell
dysfunctional
me.
family.
I don't have a dysfunctional family.
Completely
You know why?
dysfunctional.
Let me tell you why. Because me as a single mom raising my daughter without a man in this house, she does have a father who is active in her life, but we are separated. I raised my child in my house, my daughter, okay?
But Des, take this outside of yourself, Des. Outside of yourself. Okay.
We talking about me right now. My daughter, because I'm one of those individuals. My daughter is a self-taught gymnast. She started her own business. Okay, and me and her father are not married. My daughter makes A's and B's, and me and her father are not married. She is my damn family. So I don't need a man in my house to tell me that, oh, I have to have a man in my house or I have to be married.
So hang on. Was he
Look
a
at
horrible
JP.
Was he a horrible husband?
He was never a husband.
Was he a horrible man?
I wanted him to be a husband. He chose not to be.
So, but okay, you decided to be with him though.
This is growing up. He was my high school sweetheart. I wanted the idea of marriage. He chose to go another route.
Okay,
So
you're running from the one question I got to ask you.
Des.
When you and him were together, you wanted marriage, right?
Yes.
Good. Did you wait until marriage to give up the goods?
No.
There you go.
But what does that prove? What do that prove?
Because you have no idea what a successful marriage looks like, so you can't talk on it.
Half of the people not even have
You
majority
don't
of
know
the
what a
people.
successful marriage
First
looks
of all,
like. How you gonna
majority
talk
of
on
the
it?
people, listen, majority of the people who are married did not wait before having
You
sex. So you
did
don't have
not
an
have
argument.
a successful marriage. Why are you
You don't have
talking
an
on it?
argument. You don't
So
have an
hold up,
argument.
Des. Seriously though, that's a serious point of.
How the hell you don't know what a
Let's
successful
get
marriage
this
looks
straight.
like
Do
when
you
you don't
think
have
that?
one?
Let's get this straight. What average person who is married waits to be married to have sex?
The right kind.
Come on.
I did. I
Let's-
did.
let's-
Okay,
let's be
good. She talked
honest.
about herself. Hold on. She talked about herself. Let me talk about me now.
I'm not talking about myself.
You
I'm talking
did.
about
You
the
just talked
average-
about yourself.
The average
So
person
let me talk
who is
about me now.
married,
You
the
just talked
average-
about you.
the
Let me talk about
average
me.
person- listen,
You
I
just
don't
talked
need a
about you.
stat.
You got
I
to
don't
tell
need
your
a
story.
stat to
I'm
tell
gonna
me
tell
that
you
the
mine.
average person who is
You
married
got to talk
right
about
now
you,
did
right?
not wait to have sex.
I know this is your MO, Des, that you just talk and scream. No wonder the man didn't want to have a family with you.
Des,
No wonder he didn't
Des,
marry you. I can see
Des,
why
let
he
him.
didn't marry you.
Des, let him.
He didn't marry you.
Des, let him say. He's about to. He's telling you. He's giving you his personal account. Let him do. You gave yours. Let him give his. He's not giving you any stats. He's just giving you
Good
his
God
personal
Almighty.
account.
I waited until I was 24 to get married, and I did not have sex before marriage. You said, what kind of normal people do it? I did.
Okay.
So why didn't you?
So it doesn't. So I'm not.
Why
normal
didn't
because I
you?
didn't wait
Why didn't you?
because I thought I was in love.
Oh, there you go. So you thought wrong.
Okay. Well,
Obviously. So
again,
your decision making is horrible right off the top.
Are you still married?
Yes.
Okay. How long?
I have a successful marriage. You know what that looks like? Do you? No, because you've never been in one.
I don't have to be married to
Because you don't know how to be.
I don't have to be married.
You don't know how to be.
I don't have to be married.
Because you don't know how.
I don't.
That's like telling me I don't
Okay,
have to paint my
okay.
house.
Let me say this.
You're not a
All right.
painter, so you can't paint your house. That's why you don't want to.
Let me just say this: if you want to be healthy, if you want to be
Jaquil, what you drinking, man?
If you want to be healthy, you don't have to specifically eat Brussels sprouts to be healthy. There are other choices that you can take on and still be healthy. You don't have to take a specific vegetable in order to be healthy.
Come on,
It's
Des.
the food. It's the food.
I don't have to get married to
It's
have
a
a
food.
family.
It's
What
a
are you
food.
talking about?
It's a food. Marriage is like the food. It's not a specific type of food.
Do you have to eat broccoli to be healthy?
You have
Okay,
to
so
eat.
let me ask you this then, Des. Are you
don't
Des?
You don't
Des,
have to
do you,
do it,
hey
and you
Des.
know it.
So Des, going forward as a society, and speaking about Black people, since that's the topic at hand, do you advise that Black people work towards marriage or take a more unconventional route? And if things happen, they happen.
Black people going towards marriage, but as the stats show, that's not working out.
What do you mean? Black? What do you
What's
mean?
the divorce rate among Black people?
Yeah, do you know the divorce rate?
You all talked about the divorce rate in the last
what
live
is it?
and said the divorce rate, and I think it was Jane that brought it up, said that the divorce rate, if I'm not mistaken, was 690,000 and some change. Over 1 million people who are getting married. Over 1 million people are getting married, and if I remember correctly,
What's the percentage though?
690,000 who are getting divorced. So what you're talking about, yeah, you may be an exception to the rule, but that's minimum. And again, even with you being an exception to the rule, it doesn't mean that everybody has to have marriage to have a successful.
Just say you don't know how to commit. Just go ahead and admit you don't know what it means to commit. Just say so.
I know what it means to commit, but
Just say so.
It's usually the men that don't commit.
Just say you don't know what it means because you didn't hold out.
Go.
You open up your legs long before the commitment happens. What are you talking about?
At the end of the day, if you were perfect, you'd be God, but you're not. So don't go there with me.
You'd open your legs long before the marriage happened. What are you talking about?
Even
You hold out long before the marriage happened, but you want marriage?
Even if I
Why
did,
would I try and put a ring on a cow when I could get the milk for free?
What does that prove?
You gave the milk. Why would I need to put a ring on it?
That has absolutely nothing to do with
That's
me
why
wanting
you are
to
not
be
married,
married
because
or not.
nobody wants to marry you.
Listen,
Let me ask you, Des. Do you want? Okay, how about this, Des? Would you want to see your daughter? Would you want to see your daughter married? Okay, Des. Let me ask you. Okay, okay, Des. Let me ask you this: Would you encourage your daughter to get married? Yes or no?
No.
See, no.
Damn.
The cycle continues. The cycle. That's how you have the black culture.
Say
right
what?
There you go.
What?
Black culture.
You know
Black
why?
culture
You
101.
know why?
Oh snap!
Because the average man, and as we know, the
She's
average
judging all men based on that little trifling
as
man
we
she had.
know,
That's what she's
the
doing.
The average is the majority of you all can't get it right.
But you the one single.
That's why marriage isn't working. And statistically, it's the man that causes the woman to divorce.
And he also called you to lay down with him?
Statistic.
Did he cause you to lay with him? Did he cause you to lay with him?
What are you talking about?
Did he cause you to lay with him?
Jaquil, I'm gonna get you in a second.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you in a
But
second.
it was rape?
Listen,
It was rape. I got you.
I can be
All right.
honest in my
Okay. Hold up, Des.
act like we're perfect.
Des. Let me get Jack Quill in. He had something to say.
Simple question. It's very simple. I was just wondering, like, when you say a man can't get it right, what do you mean by that? It's not argumentative. This is more so. What do you mean not get it right? What have you seen that you're able to say that, like in regards to
men are known naturally to be aggressive. Men are known naturally to overtake, be controlling. So when you put a masculine energy and a feminine energy in a situation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have chaos. Exactly why we have 690,000 divorces after 1 million marriages.
75% of them are initiated by the woman, by the way. Just so you know.
They are. You know
yeah,
why?
because y'all can't fight for nothing. Y'all can't fight for nothing. You're too weak. No women are too weak to fight for anything. You rather give up. You rather give up and be by yourself and do your nails and your hair and have your independence, right? That's you. That's y'all. That's women. That's women. Y'all want to be independent and do your thing. That you're independent. That's y'all. That's y'all. Independent.
Your wife is independent.
No, she's not. She's not independent. My wife is subservient.
So you married a woman who wasn't independent.
Yep.
And so that's your problem.
It's not a problem. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You know, she don't talk like, she don't behave like you.
The fact that you don't even want your woman to be independent.
Hey, she don't behave like you. I don't wake up in the middle of the night with a headache because she's talking to me.
Two different worlds and perspectives.
But Des, what does it mean when? But Des, when a man makes money and establishes himself and positions himself to be able to take care of a family, he's independent. He doesn't go around espousing this mantra, I'm single and independent. He looks for a family to depend upon him. When a woman makes money,
we are single and independent, and we have the
but when a woman is financially independent, she's independent from whom? What does that mean? Independent from whom?
Meaning we didn't need
from the man.
We didn't need a man to get the accolades we acquired. That's what that means.
Is your daughter an accolade?
My daughter has accomplished accolades at 13 years old.
No, is she an accolade?
Yes, she is.
So you needed a man for that, though, didn't you?
You know what?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I did to have the baby, but
there you go.
But
you kind of need men. You kind of need men.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Majority of the work, all he did was sleep with me. If you
all he did.
If that's what he did.
Lee, Des, you really want to put him out there like that?
Wow.
He slept with me. That's what he did.
I could see why he didn't marry, though.
But don't do this because you just sat here and said, and that was his decision. That was his, not mine.
Okay.
So
all right, Des. Just let's. All right, let's not personalize this right now. I get it. I get what you're saying, but you extrapolating your experience out to the. All right, go ahead, Jaquil. Did you finish your line of questioning? I know you had some more.
Yeah, no, I mean, my thing. I was more so like, okay, my next question was gonna be if your daughter's father wasn't in the picture, what would that dynamic be? It would be still you being independent. It would still be the same situation. So what purpose does he have in that in y'all dynamic? That's what I'm trying to understand.
At the end of the day, he is supposed to be a disciplinarian for my daughter, which he is. Okay. But I would not need him for that because I did primary raising for my daughter. And guess what? She's very accomplished. So again, I know as a woman, I don't need a man to do the job that I do. What are men doing that women are not doing? What are you all doing? That
Yes.
women are not doing.
Being
So you're
fathers.
essentially saying that
You
men are
can't be.
being
Again, what are men doing? Because women
Being
are
fathers. Being
what
fathers.
are men doing that women are not already?
You are not a father.
This man on here just said he don't even want his woman to be independent.
No, you asked me if she was, and I told you she was not. I didn't say I didn't want her to be independent.
You
Don't put
chose
words
to
in my
have a
mouth.
woman that was independent.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Myself.
If independent is what you are, if you are independent and I need a woman like you, I would stay single too.
Listen, I don't want you as a man because
I would stay if independent is what you are, if you are the
God.
definition of independent, I'm glad I have one that's not like you. I'm so glad. I would have less.
Hold up.
stress
I
with
want
a
to.
woman
I want to
unlike
say
you.
this real quick. I want to say this real quick. Hold up, real quick, Des. I just want to say this. I want to say this real quick, guys. Everybody in the chat right now, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel.
glad.
Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bells. Go ahead, Des.
Like I was literally on your side.
I don't need people on my side from my viewpoint. You don't understand that by now? I don't need you to agree with me for me to have my viewpoint. You think you're agreeing with me as some kind of flex?
You just made the same comment about
You
culture.
think you are agreeing with me as a flex? That's not a flex. I don't need your agreement.
It's not a flex, but I can honestly sit here and say that the shit that's coming out your mouth to some degree is correct.
Don't
But
care.
at some point,
I don't need your
again,
agreement for it.
Again, I don't need to be with you to accomplish what I've accomplished.
Ain't nobody talking about your accomplishments.
It don't matter. It's a lot of
But
women
what
out
is
here
the
who don't
what is
need
the
men and
optimal? What is the optimal? What is the optimal
the
condition to
main
raise
goal?
children?
She don't know.
What is the?
It should be, but again, we have a lot of men who don't do their parts. We have women.
Every woman does their part. Every woman does their part.
Do every man do his?
No. Don't deflect. Does every woman do their part?
No, they don't.
Good. Then talk about women because you're one.
Okay.
You talk about women then. We're going to talk about men. You talk about your women.
Again, most women handle their responsibilities because.
Oh, so it's a positive now when you talk about the women. I like that. That's slick. That's slick.
I'm not gonna.
That's
You
slick.
want me to talk about women? That's exactly what I'm gonna do. The fact that you got the nerve to come on here and try to throw shade when you have a whole wife. If I was your wife, I'd be completely disgusted with you.
Okay, so okay. So look.
Don't want to be with men. This is
So listen. Okay. Great. So what brought us here is that we were talking about what is the best course of action for Black people.
Well,
Marlon brought up the
so
notion.
Stay single.
Well, I mean, essentially, he's brought up the notion of separating ourselves from this what we call blackness and this Black identity, which I honestly would equate it to being almost synonymous. I would equate it to being idol worship is what I would call it. And we're thinking about what it's going to look like. And when we brought up the abortion statistics and how we remain virtually stagnant for the better half of 40 to 50 years, and marriage rates are declining and things like that. Des, you believe what going forward? I want to be clear so that we understand your position, because there's people out there, unfortunately, that believe what you believe. But I want you to unequivocally state your position.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And again, when you have over domineering men like the one we have on here, it makes relationships difficult. And it does. And again, this is why women take the approach they do when it comes to divorce, because at some degree, don't belittle me as a mother who's actually taking care of her child. Just like we have thousands of other mothers who take care of their children with or without a man present.
JP,
and the fact that, again, you have a whole woman sitting in your house and you don't even want her to be independent, or she's not independent, that looks like you. And again, in marriage, how many of you, because clearly he's not, how many of you men in marriages are helping these women start their own businesses?
Oh, I'm not? I'm not doing that? You know a lot about me for not knowing me.
Listen, I didn't say you.
You just did. You said except not him. You just said not me.
I said men.
You just said not me.
So did you?
Maybe you should listen to yourself.
Does she have an independent business?
She has a business. Yeah, she's a cook.
Does she have an independent
She's
business?
a cook.
Okay.
And she has her
I'm
own.
sure you didn't. You
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
produce that for her. She
Yeah, I
did
did.
that on her own.
No, she didn't.
She did.
No, she didn't.
I'm sure she did. So what did you do?
How do you know
So
all
what-
this stuff
so what
without
did you
asking?
do?
Is
So
it
what
your?
did you
Do you
do?
live my life?
Tell us what you did.
Do you live my life?
Tell us what you did.
Okay, so when I first met her, she had skills and no motivation. You know what I told her she should do? Put that motivation on and get herself together and do her thing. Who do you think pushed her to do that? Who do you think pushed her to do that? Who do you think did her menus? Who do you think did her menus? Who do you think did her menus? Who do you think did her menus?
You did. Are you the only person who told her that?
I'm the only one that mattered that told her, yeah.
Yeah, so you say.
Oh, so you know now, right? You know?
Listen, again, did you?
I like how you just can judge me, but you don't like me judging your life, right? You don't want me judging your life, but you can judge my wife. That's great. You and your single ass self. Anyway, JP.
She wasn't independent.
JP, no, you did. You did. You said that, not me. You said that.
She wasn't independent.
No. You asked me, and I answered you, right? Good.
And you said
so JP,
no. I
so
asked
JP,
you, was she independent? And you said no.
JP, I'm going to move away from the squealing mouse up in the top to talk to you for a quick second.
Lord,
she said, listen. That's all I hear when you talk. No wonder you're single. JP, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
She said that you were a domineering man. She said all the men on here are domineering. Are you a you don't strike? Shut up!
No, you shut up.
JP, are you a domineering man?
What I said right.
JP, are you a domineering man?
Right.
JP, are you a domineering man?
Get what I said right.
By definition, what is that?
Heaven alone knows what she means. I don't think she knows what domineering means, but by any definition, are you domineering?
I don't know what that means.
Jacquel, are you domineering?
The definition, because I can tell you definitely.
Jacquel, are you domineering?
I'm balanced, man. I don't like to dominate anything because
perfect.
I'm not gonna lie. There's kind of reminds me a lot of my mom because I grew up in a single mother house. So my mother's been married and divorced 3 times, and I've seen a lot of combativeness. I hear a lot of pain in this situation.
Hold on. So let me just quickly.
No. Ain't nobody talking to you right now. Neil, I have a question for you too. Are you domineering, Neil?
Quiet.
Neil, are you domineering?
Hey,
Neil, are you domineering?
I wouldn't characterize me as domineering.
You don't strike me as domineering. You don't strike me at all as domineering. In fact, none of you men on here strike me as domineering. What you do strike me as is a very controlled and direct, and you have a purpose. You're like Jacquel, right? When I talk to you and I hear you talk, this is what I hear. I hear a man that if you had a woman, right, you could actually listen to her talk. And you could say, hey, you know what? What you just said made no sense. And you don't have to tell her to her loudly and say, shut up. You don't need to talk. So when you talk, I don't know what I'm hearing something in my ear. You know, like 2 o'clock in the morning and you hear a mosquito. That's what I keep hearing, but I don't know how to get rid of it. I don't have any like raid or anything. So Jacquel, you seem to me the kind of guy that when you do find a woman, which I think you will, when you do find a woman, she'll be the kind of woman that'll be appreciative of you because you know why? You listen. You listen and you can actually give good feedback, unlike certain people. And the same thing with JP. JP seems like the kind of guy that has a very good mental state. Like he could sit there, he'll let you rant, let you talk, and then when you're done, he'll point out all the flaws. And when he points out all the flaws, he can even give you a solution to it. But you see, I don't consider any of that of any of you three domineering. And so the problem is that when people put certain titles on men, certain men will gravitate to that title and fall off. And strong men will realize that that title that somebody's trying to hand them does not belong to them. And that not all women, the same way not all men, are a certain way. However, the ones that are problematic make themselves quite known. And that's the good part about the female and male dynamic. While men can kind of hide their problematic side, a woman can't. It's pretty stinking obvious when they're a problem. And it's kind of blatant, as you can see on the screen. It's kind of like blaring. It's kind of like a foghorn, and you can hear it from a mile away when they're a problem. And their whole life will exemplify that problem. And what you have in the Black community right now is exactly that. If you think I'm lying, look at all the ways that Black Americans and the women that behave who are what we call ratchet. Do they behave a certain way?
I've seen the first.
Okay,
I've seen the combativeness.
I've seen it on the screen already tonight.
Fights. I've seen all types of wild.
There you go. So there
Okay,
is
so
definitely
again,
an MO for that type
so
of female,
again,
and it's out there. It's right here on the
you
screen.
literally went on a rant for about 30 minutes, and we
Because
all
nobody was
sat
talking
here,
to you.
and we all sat here. You're talking to the panel,
Because
so I'm
nobody was talking to you, though. That's the
again.
problem. You
First
don't
of
like
all,
that.
and let's get something straight. JP, I didn't call you domineering. I
I'm
said
gonna
men
rewind and
as
play it
in
for you.
general. I
Let me
said
play it
men
for you
as
so you
in
can hear what you
general.
say.
So,
But you don't think that's a bold statement to make?
Consider me dominant?
clearly
Do
you did
consider
not
me
listen,
dominant?
and
No,
you
I'm gonna
didn't
play
hear
it
what
for
I
you.
said.
I'm gonna play it for you since it's online. I can play
Okay,
it
go
back so you
ahead
can say
and
what
play
you
it because
say.
I did not say JP was domineering. I
No, you
said
said
men.
all men. You said men. You
I
said the
said
men
men.
on the pen. You said the
Again,
men on
I
the
said
screen.
men
You said
as
the men
in
on the
general.
screen. You said the men on
I
the
said
screen.
men in general.
Men on the screen.
Men
All right,
in
so we got
general.
so we got another guest on here. I want to hear Auntie Jenny. She wanted to chime in real quick. Go ahead, Aunt Jen. Oh, good seeing you, Aunt Jen.
She got some internet now. She couldn't wait to jump
Yeah,
on.
yes,
I
got it here
now. She said, "I got some internet now. I'll be jumping on."
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts tonight on tonight's topic?
I have just come here and found it. What I suggest you do is to mute her while people are talking, so I can hear what's going on.
Oh my goodness,
Just mute her. Why don't
she
you just
come
do
in,
that? Just
shots
mute
firing.
her one at a time. If somebody else is talking and she won't shut up, mute her.
But he
I
sat
can't
here
hear
and
what you
talked
lot
for
say.
30
I've
he
heard what
sat
she
here and
said.
talked for 30
Des,
straight minutes.
mute her. Mute her. It's just bad manners. When other people are talking and she won't let other people talk, mute her. It don't sound good. Mute her, please.
Girl.
And then, not girl, I'm a woman. Just mute her when other people
Oh
are
my
talking.
goodness.
Girl, look.
Okay.
I'm trying to hear what's happening, and all I can hear is, "Ma, ma, 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 ma." People are talking. Ma, 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 ma. I listened to when she spoke. I would like to hear somebody else now, to hear a proper conversation. That's
But
what I want to
he
hear.
talked the whole time. You just getting on here. You
Yeah, I'm just getting on it. It still doesn't sound good. It still doesn't sound good. When
She
you're
rude
trying
to
to get your
everybody.
point across, the way you're behaving, you cannot get your point across.
Listen, again, when I tried to talk, if you were here and watching, when I tried to talk, he came at me in a disrespectful manner, and I made my point. Being, I don't have to be married to have a family. And when I said that, I didn't yell, I didn't scream, and he, in a
Do I need to play that again?
domineering way, I blatantly told him that you don't have to be married to have a family.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
Listen, it's a
That is the
problem for
problem with
you.
black women nowadays.
It's a problem for
You don't have to
you.
be married to have children.
It's a problem for you.
One second, Des. Let's
It's
hear
a problem
her
of the
thoughts.
society. Think about it.
And there's a reason.
Expound upon that a little bit more, Aunt Jen.
And again, when you have over domineering men like the one we have on here, it makes relationships difficult. And it
When you have domineering what? Men. Did you say men? Did you say men?
when you have Darren,
Did you say
talking
men?
about you,
Did you say
like
men?
the one on
Did you say
here
men?
talking about you.
Did you say men?
Men is a general statement.
Oh,
and
so
I
now
was
it's general.
Men is a general
So
statement.
now it's
and I
general?
was talking about you.
Now it's general.
I said that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say you said I said all men. I didn't even say
Now
all
it's
men.
general.
I said men as a general. Men
Oh.
is
All
a
right.
general statement.
All right. Go.
There's more than one on the panel. There's more than one because you didn't
So,
say man. you said men.
Aunt Jen,
I said men as in general.
all right. Okay. So,
Are you all
all
not
right.
understanding?
Okay. We're not gonna agree on that. But anyway, Aunt Jen, could you expound on why you think families? Well, Dez's position that you don't need to be married in order to have a family is not the correct course of action, or incongruent, to say the least.
I was a single parent. One child. My son's 38 now. One child. Look at all the other cultures and see why they're successful. Because they're all married. That's what all family is. It's about marriage, about linking families together, moving on, building generational wealth. It's not about, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a strong woman. I never ever said that. And I was a single parent. I never believed that. I never believed, oh, I had to wear it proud. I'm a single parent. It's proud. No. Try being a single parent back in the 80s. Nothing to be proud about. Look at society now. Nothing to be proud about. Look where the black people are going now. Black culture. Nothing to be proud about. You're going with what them out there, I call it the world, wants you to believe that it's great to be a single black parent. It's not. It is not. I am an older woman than you, and I'm telling you, it is not good. There's nothing to be publicized. It is nothing to be proud about. If you are a single parent, shut your mouth and get on with it. Simple. Don't go out there and make it sound like, oh, I would hate to know. I am speaking. I am speaking. I am speaking. Mute her. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Wait a second, Des.
I'm not, because the men have been really nice.
Let her finish. I'll let you go, Des. I'll let you go.
Really nice to you. I am speaking. Allow me to speak. Thank you. Girl, it's nothing to be proud about. It's nothing that I would want my grandchildren to be. I've got granddaughters. I would not. Sorry. I would not. I'm live. I would not want my grandchildren to come out here and say, "Oh, my grandma was a single parent, so that's what I'm going to aim for." That is nothing to be aiming for. To be a single parent, nothing to be aiming for. You shouldn't be on here saying proud. You should be on here saying, "Do you know what? I messed up. I made bad choices. I'm a single parent and I'm going to get on with it." But it's nothing to be proud about. I'm just going to get on with it because I want better for my children, because I want better for my society, because I want better for my culture. Simple.
Okay. Des, you want to respond to that?
Okay. And again, that's your opinion. You do what you want to do with your life. I don't have to get married, just like I don't have to do anything because society tells me I had to. And the gentleman down there with the hat on made that consciously clear. He literally said that earlier in the chat. Okay. So again, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's a problem. Again, you don't have to. You don't have to get. And you talking about me? Look at her.
It was a fly. It was a fly.
No, she wasn't interrupting, Des. Go ahead. Go continue. She was just
killing a
moving
bug.
around.
You don't know what a bug looks like when you try to kill it?
Everybody don't aspire to get married.
So damn emotional. Killing a bug and now it's a problem for you.
Don't sit and try to push ideas off on somebody like I have to do it. I don't have to get married. Just like I don't have to stay single. You got women out here who don't want to have children. Are you going to penalize them and talk all of this shit about a woman who chooses not to have kids?
Yeah, can I just ask the question? What is so great about being a single mother?
What's being great about a single mother is I don't have the headache of dealing with an overbearing man.
Those are your choices. Those are your choices.
No.
You can't blame all men for your bad choices.
I make my own money. I make my own money. I make my own money. I travel where I want. I eat what I want. I walk through my house as much as I want without having to answer to nobody.
I know plenty of married women that do that.
What you're not understanding, I don't have to.
That sounds an awful like when we were kids.
Everybody
Remember
has.
when we were kids, we wanted to be adults so quick. We could do anything we want. That's what it sounds like.
So I need to get married because you think I should get married. Because
everybody has free choice in this world. But what I'm trying to say
and if I have the choice not to
what
get
I'm
married,
trying to say is that for marriage, we can see that when you choose successful marriages work.
I don't have
what have you got to show that single parenthood works?
I don't have
what is there to show that it works in the long run? What is there to show that it works? Thank God.
Okay.
There's a breaking.
Jaquil, you lost in thought, man. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Yeah,
man?
Man, I didn't.
This is all my fault. I'm gonna take blame for this one, y'all. I kicked the whole test.
I've never seen.
You see, JP's like, you're damn right you did. You're damn right you did. You're good for nothing.
JP did not want to go back down this road.
In your defense, I don't know if you ever watched the lives before, but
I've seen one, but I know
it's a trigger point. It's a trigger point that it's when you poke her, it's when you start to turn it and you keep turning and you put your foot on the gas, it's gonna go.
That's okay.
I've never seen that side, so I'm just keep seeing it over and over. I feel like
and keep moving.
Stick it, Bob and Whitney.
If you when you go to
body shots and shit,
and it's up like it's
that's okay.
Can I just say something to all
yes,
the women
Auntie. Yes, please say something.
If you're married and you're independent, your marriage ain't gonna work.
That's what I keep telling people, but they don't
If
listen to
you're
me.
married and you're independent, your marriage is not going to work. If you are in a relationship and you're independent, not interdependent, and you're independent, it ain't going to work. If you are a single mother and you are not with your man because your life was in danger or somebody's life was in danger, I can understand. If you just decided that, oh, he's a bad man, he's your bad choice.
Are you
I'm not even
One child,
independent. I'm a married man and I'm not
I can
independent.
honestly turn around and say, if he was a good man, if he was a bad man, that was my choice.
Are you
It was
even
my
married?
choice. I laid down with him. It was my choice. I'm not going to go and blame all men for my bad choices. For my bad choices. So I don't see why women go out there and they sleep with these men. They don't find out who they are, what their background is, what they're capable of, whether they're men that want to look after a woman, not that want a woman to be independent. Because any man that gets in a marriage and said, you know what, I want my woman to be independent, you're not
They
a real
dumb.
man.
They dumb.
It's not going to work.
I'm not
It's
even
not gonna
independent
work.
and I'm married. I'm not an independent man. I may do for my family. My job is to do for my family. It's not about my independence. If it were about my independence, I would not take care of my family because I'm doing me. My
Only
job is
single
not to do
people.
me. My job is to take care, function within, and look after, provide for my family. So my independence has zero to do with this. I may want to get up one morning and be independent and not go to work. You know what has to take a backseat to that? My independence, because I have to go take care of my family. This was my decision. So my independence has nothing to do with when I'm in marriage. And this is what I learned after. I don't need to have my own things because my own things keep me away from my responsibility of my family.
Sounds like
When my kids and my wife are supposed to take precedence, I don't need to be independent of anything. I'm not like that in my home. And my wife does not put herself above anyone else because she has a responsibility as well to the family. That's why she's not independent. She's not dependent on me, nor is she subservient to me where she's like, yes, master, yes, master. No, she has a role. And the role is this: as long as you are in the home, your job is to make it livable, happy, and feed me. My job is to go out, get you the money, what you need to do to functionize the home. My children's job is to listen to both ends. And when they see it working together hand in hand, they go replicate that in their own life and find somebody exactly like us. I have no problem with that. No problem at all. But to look at me and say, oh, you need to be independent for what purpose? None. There's no
What do you
purpose
mean?
of
Can I just say
independence.
something, right?
Even when
you can't force people to get
Hold up,
married.
JP. Let her go ahead, Des.
Like you can't force people to get married, just like you can't force
Ain't nobody forcing you to do nothing.
women to have. If I choose not to get married,
Who the
you
hell's
don't
forcing
have the
you?
right. You don't have the right to talk down
I
because
can
I
indeed,
choose
actually.
not to get married.
I can indeed talk down to you. It's my right. That's my
No,
First Amendment right.
but it
That's
don't.
my
What
First
you say
Amendment right.
don't matter because what I
Then
choose
it
to
don't
do
matter
with
to
my
you.
life, what I choose to do with my
It
life,
don't
has
matter to you.
absolutely nothing to
That's
do.
okay if it don't matter to you. I don't care if it don't matter to you.
Okay, so stop
But I'm
speaking on it.
still
Stop
gonna say it
speaking
though.
on it because my
I'm
life
still
has
gonna
nothing
say
to
it.
do with you.
Okay,
but
how about
Des,
this? Shut me up then. Shut me up.
Listen,
I bet you can't shut me
I
up.
can't make you do
I
nothing.
bet you can't shut
I
me up.
can't, and I'm
but
Then
not
I'm
going
gonna
to
keep
try
saying it.
to.
Then I'm
I'm
gonna
not
keep
listen,
saying
Des.
it.
try to.
But
You
but in the
tramp it up. I'm gonna
context,
keep saying
but
it.
in the context of tonight's conversation, we're talking about. But in the context of tonight's conversation, the purpose of tonight's conversation, we're talking about what is a viable path moving forward. Not only just for black people, just
So
for
the solution was
That's
just
why
talking
we
about the
need to
black
do
family
things
structure.
independently because again, women can't function under domineering effects, and that has been proven, which is why most women decide to get divorced.
That light
Most women.
went off of your
Can
head.
I just say something, right?
Go ahead.
I don't know what they think what married women are. Married women and women in long-term relationships, they can travel. They can have their own opinion.
Yeah.
They can go on holiday if they
So
want.
why are
They
most
can go
getting
shopping if they want.
So why
I
are most
don't understand why women out there think
So
that
why
being
are
in a
most of them
relationship and having a man as the head of the household, as the head, why it's such a bad thing.
So why
I
are
don't
most of
know.
them getting divorced?
Because they hate head.
Because
Why
they're
are
not
most of them
bad
getting
choices.
divorced?
Because they
Who the hell
listen
is
to
this?
single people out there. They listen to single women to say, oh, no, you don't have to cook. Oh, no, you shouldn't have to cook. Oh, no, you shouldn't have to clean house. Oh, no, your man's telling you that he don't like what you're wearing. He shouldn't be able to tell you what you're wearing or what you shouldn't wear. He shouldn't have an opinion about where you go or what you do or how you speak, which he should.
Thank you.
He should. And
The
it
same
doesn't
way
mean that
she-
he's domineering. It means that
The
he
same way
cares.
she has an
It
opinion
means
about
that
what
he
I
loves
wear.
you. It means that he's after you. He's
But
thinking about your well-being,
Can
about
I
how you look
interject?
to society. Because
Can I
if
just
you had a
interject this a little
man,
bit?
right, if you had a real man in your relationship, you wouldn't be acting like that.
Do
You
what?
wouldn't be
See,
behaving like that.
this is
Do
going
what?
to
You
Where the
lead.
wouldn't be
real man?
shouting. You wouldn't be going off the way you are. You're the way, everything like that. Nothing like that
First
would be
of all,
happening.
where are all the
So,
real
Like
men?
you,
Where the
I'm
real
gonna say it. You need a
so
man.
Including you.
You
Where's
need a
the
man.
man?
You need a man. You
Where's the
need a
man?
man. You need a man to make you into a
wait,
lady. You need a man to feminize you. If you
Where's
don't
your
have a man, this is what happens. This
where's
is what
your
happens when
man
you
at?
don't have a man. That's what
Where's
happens when you don't have a real man. That's what
your
happens when you
man?
make bad decisions in
Where's
relationships. And then you think you're right. Why? Because you're hurt. Because a
where's
man has hurt you. The wrong man has hurt you.
exactly.
You
I'm
are
not
hurt.
hurt.
Because if you had the
I'm hurt.
real man, you wouldn't be acting the way you are.
I'm
You wouldn't be
hurt.
behaving the way you are. Somebody has hurt you, and I hope that you get some
Yeah,
help for it. Because you
tremendously.
have got
And
some anti-male thing where a man can't tell me what to do. Do you know what? I love a man to tell me what to do. I love it. That means that he cares.
a good
And most
man,
of
a
the,
good
most
man
of the
wouldn't.
time,
Yeah.
he's got my
That's
well-being
right.
at the forefront. I know he might
That's
see
right,
something that
Jaquel.
I don't. Same way that I might see something that he don't.
Not my problem. I've been successful on my own. I've been successful on my own.
But
I don't need
I
a man
mean,
to tell me. Having a
I
man
don't
only
need a man.
enhances my life. I don't need a man to help
Who
me
are
do anything.
accessories? Who are
I've gotten the
accessories?
businesses that I've
that's what I was
gotten
about to get
because of
to because the
myself.
last
Okay.
part,
All right, go
everything was talking
Jaquel,
about.
Jaquel, go
No,
ahead and
so the
I
last
hear you.
part kind of struck me. I was like, because me and Des had a conversation about men being nothing less or nothing more than slaves, and I'm just like, what does that even mean? So that blew me completely out the water. But I tried to listen to understand the situation. I watched the pod, and I'm like, so then does that mean, because if you're nothing more than a slave to whatever situation, that means you can't be respected. So something is going on there that if you have to demean anything, that means something is going on internally that's a underlying insecurity.
So,
Something is there.
so did I not give you the definition of what a slave was? Did I not give you the definition of what a slave was?
You're muted, buddy.
Nah, he tried to put his AirPod in and now disconnect. Yeah, muted.
Real quick. I don't know who Gloria Push Fonte is, but I might have to block this. I don't know who this is, but she's making some pretty obscene.
Makes stool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've been watching this.
Yeah, I don't know who this is, but you better clean up your act. I'm gonna have to boot you out of here.
I have one more question for JP. If and the reason I'm asking because you're so quiet, and I appreciate the silence, but it's deafening. So here's my question to you: you're single or you married?
I'm married.
You're married. Are you happily married?
I mean, yeah, you can say that.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. Are you on the verge of divorce like everybody thinks all marriages are?
Oh, to be real, it was a point in that, yeah.
Okay, but are you now?
No.
Okay. Did you work past it?
Yeah, we can't.
Ain't
yeah,
that something? Would you consider it stronger now that you've worked past it?
Yes, because it's a lot more communication.
There you okay.
And agreements of where we stand and where we going. And yeah.
The reason I asked that, and the reason marriage is valuable, people out there, the reason marriage is valuable, good, and I mean true marriage, not faux marriage, money marriage, fake marriage, emotional marriage, and all that crap that you call marriage. I'm talking about real, true marriage, because it takes a hard level of commitment, and it takes devotion, and it takes the ability to work through hard stuff. The reason why that's good for the community is because you won't just give up. It shows you how not to just quit. It shows you how to fight through things as a community. Now, when you can just give up because you don't got no vested interest, everything else will be just like that. Everything is tradable. Everything is like a TV today. You just hit it. Oh, it broke. Get a new TV. That's the world today.
Well,
marriage is not supposed to be that disposable, and nor is life. And that's what marriage teaches you, how to push through that stuff.
There you go.
The difference is between a relationship and a marriage is when you're in, you have made a decision that there are a lot of things that you will go through. However, you know, even the ones that's the most unhappy, they have they have an agreement that they will understand and they will coincide for the best of it to keep the nucleus intact, everything to be intact, because it's about your lineage growing older, to which your offspring to be better, to see something, and not the arguments or the shortcomings of the individuals, but understanding that how you build is for your kids to see something. And it is different. You can't just walk away from it. I think the best part of, again, in a marriage, it comes with communication of understanding, respect, and boundaries and communication. Again,
So I just want to
people who sleep in the different bedrooms. Again,
Okay.
but you don't want to talk about the white. You said the white culture. There's no such thing as white culture, but when it comes to white people, you know, I know a good bit of them that, again, they just stay together and make sure, again, because divorce is not an option. So they can be for X amount of years. They're gonna keep that intact for their children to see, because once again, outside where the black culture is, it's dysfunctional. They get together and break apart. Whether long, if you're not meant for each other, never come together at all. That's the issue. Like she said earlier, people are getting in our culture, or black people are getting in relationships for all the wrong reasons. They don't know what love is. They're replacing love with lust because it's a fat ass. You go on social media, you see pictures. You see pictures of a woman sitting on the sink. The first pose is from her side with her butt sticking out. So now under the comments, you have weak-minded men. Their comment is, "Ooh, I will wife her. Oh, I know she's wife material." How could you know that from a picture?
Yeah, you can't say that.
And the picture say, "Wife me up."
How can
No,
you
that's
tell
not
that
what that
by the
says.
picture?
Yeah.
So, but you know what I'm saying? I think when it comes to, you don't need a man. I don't. You need a man only because it helps. And
Yeah.
she
And
said that
this is
it's not
really,
that
I
you're
mean,
on
part and parcel. This is just another one of these mantras of the feminist movement. I mean, I don't know how black women became the biggest buyers of this deception. I do not understand it. They cling to it. It's almost like I don't know, it's almost like a religion to some degree.
I'm gonna
Um
intersect.
oh yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm gonna take responsibility. I mean, I don't know, but I've made mistakes as well. You know, I've kind of contributed to certain things, and I'm hearing out theirs as well too. I want to apologize. You know what I'm apologizing for, but at the same time, it's just like hearing this is a reflection for me to hear some things to kind of understand exactly what people are at, because maybe I fall in line with certain things as well too. And just hearing all this energy, everything that's going on overall, what Marlon is saying as well, and JP, that family structure is quintessential. And if you never really synced it or can exemplify it or see the example of it, you kind of see the results in certain situations like these. And whatever contributions I've made, I really didn't come here for any controversy. To be real with you, man, Neil, I
Yeah, you
came really
started
just
all the
to.
controversy, man. What the heck you talking about?
No, man, I came here just. At first I didn't understand, but I wanted to just
Starting
like
all this
what.
beef.
I came in wanting to just be on a positive note, to just be like, look, I want to
Hey,
clear the air,
hey, hey,
man.
you said it to me in the chat, man. You saw
I know
what it
I
was
saw that and I was confused. I was like,
and
okay,
that's the
this
thing. Like you
this
don't,
is
you
not.
know, I don't know what direction it's gonna go in. You know what I'm saying? This is not scripted. Obviously, this is all organic. You know, people have
Yeah.
strong views about what they, you know, what their perspectives are. But you know, I stand firm on this. You know, I don't want. I'm not looking forward to running this experiment again. We have ran the experiment. The data is in. We know what the numbers are. We look at we know what the outcome is, and it just bewilders me completely. Just baffles me as to why we are literally advocating to continue this,
I'm
to
confused
perpetuate
because
this.
I don't be always looking into all this. I don't even know too much about the feminists. I be in my own space. I just be in my own head. But when I hear stuff
Oh, you
like
better
this,
unwoke, brother.
I get it. When I hear like men are nothing more than
but the thing about it
slaves, I'm like,
is, this is the
I'm
thing.
like,
This is the thing.
this is deep. Man, I'm like,
She's been on here for
I have
countless of lives, and we've gone even about reacting to the Priscilla, the Queen Maker thing. The thing about it is her and Dez have exhibited who they are to you. They have verbalized that. But yet there are men who will still complain and say this is not what they want, but they will still chase behind it. And she's telling you, leave me alone. I want to be this way. But either
No. See, this is where you wrong, JP. Look, when you come on a platform and you espouse a point of view, you have just opened yourself up
but
for
she's
scrutiny.
personalized. So if
Okay,
you're
that's
leaving-
okay. But look, no one's in charge of how you respond, JP. This is again this is again you depriving her of her agency.
No, I'm not, because I'm not talking about the platform, Neil. So this is the thing. You keep thinking that someone's going to give her a way out. The problem is this. I'm not talking about the platform because she's personalizing this outside of this. Are you listening? She's personalizing what's going on
She's shaking her
outside.
head like in disagreement. So why don't you let her speak?
But
No, I think he keep going because he is.
Oh, okay.
She's personalizing this outside of this. She's telling you realistically what she's walking through on a daily basis. She's telling men, leave me alone. Why do they keep bothering her? If those are the women, let her be. Marlon just said, you got to let certain people who want to act the way they want to act, leave them over there. Leave her over there.
That's fine. I can't.
Beat her over the head.
Ain't nobody beat nobody over the head.
That's what I'm saying. JP is just always caping.
Let's be clear.
How am I caping?
You were disrespectful when you didn't even have to be. I came on here cordial. And you came at me in a disrespectful manner.
Nobody care if you took offense to it. I really don't give a damn if you took offense.
So don't get upset when I start
Who's upset? I'm laughing the whole time at you. How am I upset?
Listen, I could care
Who the hell
less.
is upset? You don't have enough power over me to upset me.
What happens once we get off this live?
You don't got power over me to upset me.
When we get off this live, you are nothing in my mind.
Perfect.
Nothing.
Then let it remain that way. You're nothing to me either. I'm not mad.
So again, you have zero. You have zero.
But that's the thing though, and you always bring up caping. It's not caping. Let them crash and burn, Neil.
Okay. So, but the disconnect is, JP. The disconnect is that you're not directing that. You're not directing what you're telling me to her mentality. Meaning, you don't love her enough to tell her the truth that this mode of thinking is going to cause you to crash out.
She's been on 5.
I'm just one person.
Let her burn.
Okay.
Let her go.
The difference is it's on a platform that we can say whatever we want. If it were to let her burn, she can burn outside the platform.
Right, exactly.
But she's on the platform now, and I have the right, all of us have the right to say what the hell we want to say to whoever we want to say to, however we want to say it to. And we don't got to care about feelings.
Right.
No one has to care about her feelings.
What is the argument? Then what is the problem?
No one does.
Then what is the problem? Because apparently you got everything in the world wrong with what I got to say. So what do you?
Because your viewpoint is trash, and I can disagree with it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Okay, and I can agree and disagree with.
I'm supposed to agree with trash behavior and whore behavior. I don't need to agree with that shit.
Listen, like you didn't raise your voice on this goddamn platform.
Because I can. Because I can.
Okay, and so can I. So be quiet. So be quiet about me.
No, I don't need to be quiet about nothing. The same way you can tell me not to raise my voice, I can do the same.
Quiet about
it's a free platform.
Be quiet about me.
On Jenny.
Be quiet.
Hoe out all you want. Ain't nobody telling you not to hoe out. Hoe out. Hoe all day long if you want to. Hoe away.
Talk for 30 minutes.
It's Christmas. You can hoe all day long.
Be quiet.
So hey, Marlon. So I don't think Jenny heard because she made a really brilliant point earlier about God dang, I can't even articulate. Prior to us talking about the marriage, what were you saying? As far as just abandoning Black culture as a whole outright.
We don't need culture. We don't.
Do you agree with that, Jenny? Do you think that Black people as a whole should just abandon it, not breathe any oxygen to it because of what it represents now? We should just take a hands-off approach. Don't even focus on it at all.
What is black culture?
Thank you very much.
That's the question. Hey, she's a thinker.
I mean, back in the day, I used to say that black culture was like getting married, raising children, having dinner on a Sundays, inviting all the family around. To me, that was black culture. Maybe it was going to church with your family, coming back, meeting up. That was black culture. If it means now that I can wear what I want and have my body decorated how I want to show off, or having single parents, or wearing, skirts up to so you can see my breakfast. If that's black culture, no, I'm not part of it. Sorry. So I'd like to know what it is before I say, oh yeah, but black culture, because I think that people are changing black culture, and I'm not in it.
I think you summarized it quite well, if you ask me.
Yeah, you caught on quick. You caught on quick.
So yeah.
Culture, what I see as black culture is like, I'm here in Barbados. I get up in the morning. Right now, my fish is already seasoned up. I've already made dinner for yesterday. It's all prepared. It's all prepped. And I will get up in the morning. Dinner will be cooked before 7 o'clock. I'm here on my own. So I'll be cooking for about 10 men tomorrow, taking food for them. To me, feeding people is black culture. Cooking a good meal is black culture. If that's what you mean, black culture, I'm all for it.
That's what we said earlier.
Yeah.
But it's no longer that anymore. It used to be that. It used to be you got together on the porch and the whole neighborhood would come and eat. When was the last time y'all saw a block party in the hood, like an actual block party where no one got shot?
Well, I have that culture. That is my culture. I've kept the same black culture as I did from back in the day.
1970s and 1980s
cooking for
were the
people
last
and
time.
everything like that, I've still got that culture. And I don't, all the internet and stuff, I don't listen to what they're saying. I mean, I haven't watched TV for 8 months. And I got the internet on because, I got the internet on and I had the TV and I thought, why? What is there to watch? I haven't watched it.
There's
I
nothing to
watched
see.
it for one day and then I thought, there's no way, turn it off. There's nothing on TV that I want to watch that's going to interfere with my mental health or try and persuade me that this is the way to go. That this is the way to go. Because I'm not doing it. I am not getting into it. All this new modern black culture. Keep it where it is. Keep it where it is. In the trash. Because I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, black culture is just atheism, if you ask me.
It didn't used to be, though. That's the crazy part. It didn't used to be.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all. And I think this is part of now. If you guys remember Du Bois, right? When he brought that whole cultural Marxism into the black community and the black diaspora, right? And you got morons like that ape Umar Johnson, right? Who think he's smart, but he's just as dumb as a box of rocks and stupid as hell and nasty. Can't even clean his own damn house. Got lice and roaches running all over him, looking like a piece. Look. You got people like that who say he's the leader. He's a black leader. I'm going to build a black school. For 6 years, he's building a school. Spend all the money. That's the kind of people that we have now in the culture. And when Marxism set in, the whole idea of religion, and I don't mean the bad version of religion, God and the whole thing left. Because they brought in, you can do for you, when in that reality they were asking the whites to do for them. That was the whole idea that Du Bois brought in. And Martin Luther King bought into it. He did. He bought into it. Hence, he wouldn't have signed when the Democrats brought that second civil rights bill to him. He would have never signed it. He should have never signed on to that. The one before that Kennedy had submitted would have actually kept the LGBTQ women out of it and would have left just the black community. If you look at that first civil rights bill, the second iteration of it, man alive, it brought everybody in on the piggyback. And then what do you think happened there?
Open the floodgates.
It was a Marxist move. And once you brought that in, you negate the need for the whole dynamic of family. And once you've negated that, what is there to fight for anymore? The reason that we could have the kind of life we had, Black Wall Street was founded based upon black family, not money. The only reason it made money was because the home was taken care of and the man could go out and work. You can't have that no more. Now the man could go to work and worry about whether or not the milkman's coming in the back door.
Yep.
Damn.
Then the man could go to work or stay home, and then he got to worry if the wife's banging the boss.
Yep.
Money became the God. Money became God. And once that happened, you didn't have a commitment left anymore in the house. And once the commitment leaves the house, the children see it. And if the children don't see commitment, they end up doing the same way. Now they're going to just do for them. And they don't care about nothing else but the selfishness of society.
And what you have is the
Precisely.
remainder is black community. Selfishness. That's all it boils down to, is stinking selfishness. I got mine.
And they call
I'm
and
only
they
for
call
me.
it self and they call it
Cousin called the devil.
self-love culture. And they call it self-love. Self-love.
Oh
You got to love
man.
yourself. Oh man, that was
All
deep.
this stuff.
Jaquil, Jaquil,
Yeah.
what's up, man? What's on your mind, man?
No, man, me and my cousin have a lot of because he's embedded. He's like he's right in the middle of the smack dab in the middle of like Inglewood, Chicago, man. He talks about it all the time. Like he, you know what I'm saying? He kind of feels like he sees our community as being selfish, devil worshiping, because like nobody's really looking out for the community. Everybody's looking out for self. And we had these conversations all the time. So Marlon's definitely hitting the dead on the head, man. So it's kind of a rude awakening, but it hits home. So I definitely understand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't see any, honestly, I don't know how this ship's gonna I don't know how the ship's gonna turn other than God,
Abandoned ship.
honestly.
Abandoned ship. Drop
Abandoned ship.
that buoy, drop that escape ship, and whoever needs to flee. This is Titanic. This is the Titanic. We done hit that iceberg about 5 generations ago.
Still hanging on to that wooden door.
We're done with that ship. Find another one. Swim for land. If you sink, you sink. If you get ate by sharks, you ate by sharks, but you're not going down with the ship. You're gonna die trying. You're gonna die trying to get back to a better place. But if you make it, good. Start a whole new dynamic. But we don't have to give into this nonsense of what the new direction is going. The new direction is absolutely going to kill itself. It's no different than leaving 15 men on an island and expecting to go back and find procreation happening. That's how stupid it is to hold on to this nonsense. It won't happen. Leaving 15 women on a plan on an island and expecting to go back and find a whole family. You're not gonna find it. You're not gonna find it. We need each other to move this thing forward, and the only way to move this thing forward is together. And to make it go together, you have to go together in the dynamic that your strong suits are. The man's strong suit when he does his job is to provide. The woman's strong suit when she does her job is to nurture. But if y'all don't want to do your job, then don't expect the job to function. The job is going to end up being fired. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a horrible job. Period. But y'all like the horrible job, so keep the horrible job.
Everybody plays a part harmoniously.
Can I just say one thing, right?
Part,
and I think when it comes to like black culture and society, I think the older women like me have a lot to answer for. Because they make bad decisions, and then rather than tell the youngsters, listen, right, learn from me, I made this bad decision and it was my fault. Oh, no, it was the man's fault. You don't need a man. I was married. I didn't like him. The older women out there, they're not helping. They're not out there being like supportive and being like the aunties or the grandmas of like black society. They're failing the youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're old and single, like me, or whether they're married or in a long-term relationship, it's very rare to find an older black woman say, do you know what? You need to get married. This is the way it works for me. It's good.
Right.
You know, they don't do that. They just go out there. They want to party hard with the youngsters.
Compete. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that as an older black woman, that you've got a lot to answer to.
Ooh, that's deep, Monty. You know what? That's music to my ears. That is music.
I messed up loads of times.
Music to my ears. Accountability. Des, do you want to chime in? Because I'm about to close this thing out. Did you want to kind of? I know everybody said their piece. Did you want to say something before we close this out?
At the end of the day, what a person as an individual decides to do with their own life, they're going to do. Nobody, person, I don't care if you're old and not married or if you have a wife or not, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everybody's individual choice is just that.
Nobody said it wasn't. It's like everybody's got their own point of view. Everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody's allowed to say what they've got to say. Doesn't mean we have to agree with you. Doesn't mean we have to pander to you. Doesn't mean that if you're wrong, we can't say you're wrong. In our view, you might be right in what you're thinking. We're entitled to our opinion the same way you're entitled to yours.
Don't. Okay, and I stated my opinion just like you did. So leave it alone.
No, that's not how that works.
You brought it up. Not leave it alone.
No,
The only way I'm going to leave it alone.
That's not how that works.
If I think that what you're saying is rubbish, the only way I'm going to leave it alone is if you shut up. If you don't shut up and you keep on spilling your spew, then I will continue saying something. I'm not going to sit here and let you advertise that what you're saying is right when I don't believe it is. The only way to stop me from answering back is to shut your mouth.
Literally,
Simple.
as a woman, you could have just left me the fuck alone after I said what I
There
said.
you go again.
That's not how that
Disrespect,
works.
and that's what the modern woman's all about. That is what it's all about. Disrespect. That is what failing black culture, black society is. Young ladies like you with no respect for your elders, no respect for yourself, no respect for your culture, and no respect for yourself as a woman, as a parent, as somebody's mother, as somebody's daughter, as somebody's aunt, cousin, whoever. No respect for yourself. You should care about respect. You lack respect. Oh, that person said it. Oh, well done.
I said what I said. Leave me alone.
No, we don't have to.
I can't leave you alone because you're here. You are here. You are here on the panel. You cannot go on a panel and say, leave me alone. You cannot go and say something and say, leave me alone. The only way you can leave me alone, come off.
Be quiet.
Come off. Because everybody's going to have their opinion. Everybody's going to have their opinion. It's not my fault that you can't handle it. If you can't handle an adult conversation, get off the thing and go and be the child that you're acting like. Simple. We're all adults here. We are all adults here. We're here to give information. We're here to receive information. We're here to learn from each other. You obviously don't want to do that because you're always right. You're in your own little world. Well done.
Okay, well, get out of my world then.
Trust me, ain't
I'm
nobody
in your
gonna be
world. I am not in your world. Trust me, young lady.
You're expressing yourself just like I am. Be quiet about what I got to say.
No, not at all. It doesn't work like that. The louder you shout, it does not work like that. It does not work like that. And that's why you get the young people that think that they're entitled to tell people to be quiet.
No,
they're entitled to spew whatever they have to spew. I will never shut up when somebody's being disrespectful, when somebody is saying something that I don't agree with. All you have to do is come off the air. If you don't want anyone to say anything to you, then you shouldn't be on the panel. It's called a panel. It's called a discussion. That's what people do. You are not capable of having a decent conversation with people.
Well, you can
get all
leave.
emotional.
Well,
you take
well,
everything
listen.
personally, and then you rant like this. It's not attractive. You are somebody's mother. You should be behaving as such. You are somebody's mother. Think about it. You are somebody's mother. Thank you. You should learn to debate. You are somebody's mother. And that's what you need to
Oh
do.
no, it ain't lost.
You
The
need to project
ones that
yourself
needed to hear
better.
it heard it.
You
The
need
ones
to
that
handle
needed to hear
yourself
it.
better. You need to promote black culture better. And it's people, it's when they act like you online. This is what
So-
people think black culture is all about. It's not.
Quiet.
So let me
It
say
is
this. Let me say
not.
this. Let me say this. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this is a platform where we, like I said, I foster free speech. We're here to say whatever,
Exactly. So let
listen,
me say it and be quiet.
okay, but Des, you got to be open to the scrutiny that you receive in turn.
And
So
I don't have a problem. I didn't say anything while they were rambling on. I
no,
didn't
no,
say-
no. What? You're right. Okay,
So,
but listen,
again,
all I'm saying when you say
they got
no,
a
I'm saying when you tell them to be quiet, they can't opine
He
on your.
literally told me to shut up. What are you talking
Okay,
about?
but I'm
Because
saying,
you were
but I'm
talking
just
over people. Yeah, so shut up.
No, you shut up. And mind your
Like
business.
you're doing now.
talking.
You're
It's
talking
not
over Neil.
talking.
Right now, you're talking over Neil.
I don't care.
Oh,
I'm
so
talking to you
exactly.
right now.
So why the hell we should care about your tramp ass? Nobody should.
Listen, again, you think you hurting
You
my
could
feelings?
hoe around all you want. Go hoe around and be the
you
new
hurting
black
my
community
feelings,
all you
do
want.
not.
Be the one that promotes your daughter to be just like you.
You
Hoe
think
out
you
and
hurting?
find no
And
man.
listen,
Go for it.
if my daughter was to look at this, she would see what kind of a
I
man
don't care if
you
your daughter
are.
look at it, sniff it, smell it, taste it. If she want to be like you, let her be like you.
So be
You can
quiet.
treat her. You can make her a whore just like you all you want.
Quiet.
That's okay.
Quiet.
That's completely fine. You can do that.
You so contradicting right
You
now.
can do that.
Be quiet.
You can push black
Be
community the way
quiet.
you want.
Oh, hey, Jane.
With your
Jane is
leg.
in the
It's all
got
good.
Jane in the chat. How you doing, Jane?
all good.
Okay, guys. Well, listen. I think this was somewhat productive. Yeah, I think it was pretty productive. We had some we had some points of contention,
hilarious.
nonetheless. But look, like I said, you never know what direction this is going to go in. And Jaquil, I and Auntie and Marlon as well. I appreciate you guys for coming on. I really do. I'm honored that you guys took the time out to get on this old chat on this old platform. Hey, listen, the door is always open. You guys are always welcome. And hopefully we can further discussion and move the needle forward. I mean, I don't know how far we got in that
Yeah, I was gonna
in
ask you,
that
what was the
pursuit tonight.
solution to? Yeah, what was the solution? I'm
Listen,
sure.
honestly, I heard a few. I
Okay.
heard a few solutions tonight. You know, I mean, but it falls on whoever heard, whoever had the ears to hear and the eyes to see. I
I
would
heard
say.
some. Yeah.
But nonetheless, guys, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys for sticking it out with us. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and we'll do this again. Wait, when is Christmas is Monday.
Monday, yeah.
So we might be back next Thursday, depending on what JP and Des, what their schedules is looking like, and like I said, Jaquil, Marlon, Auntie, y'all available anytime. Just let me know. I'll drop the link. And we can, kind of delve into this. But look, we gotta eat the meat and spit out the bones, people. Okay, y'all.
Just go vegan.
Yeah, or just go vegan. Oh, okay.
Can I just say something, right? You
Yeah,
said
go
about
ahead.
Thursday. Thursday's my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
Oh, snap.
And in
Let me
Barbados,
give you a
they have
little
a thing called a lime where you hang out.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
just be having a male-only lime.
Hey,
Because
I'm
I
from
cannot
Trinidad,
find
Auntie.
any.
Hey,
I
Auntie, I'm
want a
from Trinidad.
male-only party. Yes. A male-only, just for the
Hey,
men.
Auntie, I'm from Trinidad.
All right, we're having a lime. I'm just having men because
I'm gonna show up. I'm coming.
the modern women.
I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I'm coming through. I'm coming through. Watch me. I'm coming through.
You're welcome anytime.
All right.
But it's men only. It's men only.
Bet you I gonna be there.
I'm the only woman there.
I'll bring in my sons too.
Well, let me save up a few dollars, and I'll catch a flight out there. Sometime next year, maybe.
Well, man, let's touch base too, brother, man. For real. Let's make sure we touch base, my boy.
Yeah. So listen, before we close out, as I always do, y'all just go ahead and plug in y'all socials, whatever. Jaquil, JP, Auntie, Des, Marlon, and then we'll close it out like that.
Absolutely, man. You can find me Umi Art District. I do artwork, commission artwork as well too. I got the Nice Guys podcast, both on IG, YouTube. I don't have anything on Facebook, but I think TikTok as well too. So you can find me on those different platforms. Check in with me for sure.
Bet it up. JP.
JP FW _podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and Brock Quell, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram, man. I'm definitely gonna hit you for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Auntie Jenny.
I'm just me. I can't get onto Instagram. And find me wherever you can. I just pop up now and again. I don't do anything on time. I do what I like when I like.
Wait a second. You was cooking. You not doing any more cooking?
You watch me cooking?
Yeah, my wife didn't listen. My wife didn't picked up 2 of your recipes, and the plantains you made the other day.
Yeah.
No, not the plantains. You had made something else. I'm sorry, I can't even think about it. But yeah, when you go live, you're not doing that anymore.
No, it is. I cook and I always forget to film it.
Oh God!
So I try to remember to take pictures, but then the minute the food before I can take the picture, I'm like, wait, take a picture.
Yeah, Aunt Jenny be
Well, I
going
send the
down.
food. And I
y'all.
said, take a picture and send it to me. But I put all my pictures on TikTok. That's where I'm mostly active on TikTok. Food,
Okay.
bargains. How
Okay,
to make
great.
one chicken last a whole week. 5 meals or whatever.
All right. Single independent. Go ahead, Des.
Desi DC on Instagram, Desiree AC on Facebook, and Flicking on My Vic on YouTube. Y'all can find me there.
I ain't finna let no man tell me what I can do and what I cannot do.
My bad.
That's period.
All right, go ahead, Marlon.
I don't have any socials. I'm too busy being toxic over here in my marriage. So.
Oh snap! Wait.
What he'll tell you.
Oh Lord, have
too busy
mercy.
being
Let me close this out before we get crazy again. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel and all that good stuff. We will catch you guys on the flip side. Holla Bizak. Man, that's crazy. Uh-oh, wrong.